College football today. From Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida, it's the Gators of Florida against the third-ranked Seminoles of Florida State. And this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Natural Light Beer. Taste is why you'll switch to Natural Light. By your Sears Tire and Auto Center, home of straight talk, good values, and satisfaction. And by Hertz, the superstar in rent-a-car. It's a beautiful day, temperature in the 70s in Tallahassee. Hello again, everybody. I'm Al Michaels, and welcome to a great intrastate rivalry, a great battle, not only as far as the intrastate aspect of it is concerned, but as far as Florida State is concerned today, they have national championship aspirations. For Florida State to wind up as the mythical national champion, the following scenario would have to take place. Georgia, ranked #1, would have to lose in the Sugar Bowl on New Year's Day to Notre Dame. Notre Dame, meanwhile, in addition to winning that game, would have to lose today. Notre Dame still with one game left on its regular season schedule. The Fighting Irish today to take on the University of Southern California. You'll see that game as the second half of our ABC NCAA doubleheader from the Los Angeles Coliseum. If that takes place, of course, it's all academic if Florida State doesn't win its next two. The Seminoles must win today against Florida to finish their regular season with a mark of 10-1, and then they'd have to win on New Year's night when they'll face the Oklahoma Sooners in the Orange Bowl. So Florida State ranked #3. It's the highest they have ever been ranked, still looking for a possible national championship. So we've got the Seminoles and the Gators coming up from Tallahassee. In just a moment, we'll take a preview look at Florida.
I used to run through airports. Now I fly through them. With new Hertz #1 Express service, I fly non-stop from my plane to my car without stopping at the counter. If you ask for #1 Express when you make your reservation, your Ford or other fine car and contract will be waiting at the #1 Express booth. Once again, Hertz puts you in the driver's seat faster than anybody else.
I don't think so.
Hey, Norm, when it comes to switching to Natural Light, add me to the roster.
Tony Jurgensen, good to see you. Did you switch for the all-natural ingredients?
No, I switched for the taste. Natural Light tastes better to me.
You old quarter horse, you lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, look at me. If I'd have been in this shape 5 years ago, I might have even run with the ball.
The moves he could have made.
Yeah, like the old quarterback sneeze.
Yeah. Hey.
Natural Light. Taste is why you'll switch.
A gorgeous day in Tallahassee. The pregame pageantry continuing on. Been a big weekend here. A lot of festivities taking place preparatory to the game, and the crowd of 53,000 getting into place. Florida, as you can see, has made a remarkable turnaround. Last season, the first under Coach Charlie Pell, they did not win a game. 0-10-1, the tie against Georgia Tech. This season, a mark of 7-3. As we take a look at the Florida Gators game by game, you can see they opened up with 3 consecutive wins, then a loss to LSU, then 3 more wins, then a last-minute loss to Georgia, followed by a win over Kentucky, and last week a loss to Miami. Some of the key people in the Florida attack include their young quarterback, a man who took over halfway through the 1980 season for the injured Bob Bucco, and his name is Wayne Pease. Just 18 years old, completing 53% of his passes. Last week in the game against Miami, Pease led an 80-yard march on the first drive, hit Tyrone Young, the big 6'6" wide receiver, with that pass. Good for 34 yards, and then with Young in motion, it was Pease faking the pitch, finding Young for the touchdown, but that did it as far as the Florida scoring was concerned last Saturday in Gainesville. However, Chris Collinsworth, number 21, had a good day. The All-America wide receiver has caught 39 passes this season, including 8 last week against the Hurricanes. Chris Collinsworth, number 21. But the big story last week, the end of the game. Miami had it in hand, 28-7. And with 1 second left, they regained possession and attempted a field goal. As Howard Schnellenberger, the head coach of Miami, said later, he said it was the rudest crowd he had ever seen. They were throwing objects at the bench all day long, and as a consequence, he was going to teach Florida a lesson. They won the game 31-7, and yesterday I asked Charlie Pell about the end of last Saturday's game.
We might have had 24 people maybe throwing stuff on the field last week. I was disappointed in that. 62,000 good fans, and you know, just a few bad ones. I think all of us in college football got to be aware of that and be conscious. I don't know many places that it's happened before. And what I'm referring to is Coach Snellenberger alluded to the fact that he was kicking the field goal against our football team to get back at those people behind him. And any way you look at it, that still doesn't make sense.
Is that some ammunition for you perhaps next year when Florida faces Miami again?
You can count on it.
Charlie Pell's reaction to the end of the game last week. His Gators, meanwhile, trying to rebound today and close out the regular season with a mark of 8-3. That's a look at Florida. In just a moment, we'll check out the Seminoles of Florida State.
Marge? Marge!
In here, dear.
Oh, wait till you hear what I want for Christmas. I saw it at Sears Auto Center today. Their best timing light on sale for $29.99.
Oh, that's nice, dear.
Right, I could tune up the car, maybe save some gas. Marge?
Yes, dear.
Sears has a battery charger on sale, too. $19.99. Oh, I could sure use that this winter. Do you hear me, Marge?
A timing thing and a battery gadget. I hear you, dear.
Sears, where America shops for value.
Welcome to Sears Home Entertainment Sale. Big savings on selected stereos, TVs, and more. Save $100 on this video recorder with high-speed beta scan. Save $70 on this color TV with reliable electronic tuning, one-button color, and touch and tune. Just $399.95. Save $50 on this AM/FM stereo system. Now only $169.95 with record changer, 2 speakers, both cassette and 8-track. Now at Sears, where America shops for value.
Crime coping with the new explosion. A special assignment next week on ABC's World News Tonight.
Hello, I'm Victor Borge, and I'm often asked how long it takes to learn to play the piano. Of course, that depends on the individual. But with this Kimball organ and the exclusive entertainer, all it takes is 5 minutes and 2 fingers, and suddenly you are an orchestra.
The famous Kimball organ, available at Tedlock Piano and Organ in Northwood Mall. Owned and operated by the same family since 1958.
The Florida State University Band. They're known as the Marching Chiefs on the field at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee with the fanfare. And upcoming, the fight song for Florida State, a team that comes in ranked number 3 in the country with a regular season mark of 9-1. The Florida State Marching Chiefs. The crowd, 53,000. They expect a new stadium record, and they'll be responding to the Florida State fight song upcoming. Marching Chiefs out on the field. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the 1980 record for these Seminoles. Began with 3 straight wins, then their only loss of the season at the hands of Miami 10-9. Since then, they have reeled off 6 consecutive wins. Keep in mind that last victory over Virginia Tech, 31-7, was 4 weeks ago. They've had that much time off. Let's review some of the highlights of Florida State's season. We'll pick it up in the Miami game near the end. With less than a minute left in the game, Miami was leading Florida State 10-3 when Rick Stockstill, the Seminole quarterback, found his tight end Sam Childers in the end zone to make it 10-9. The Seminoles then went for the victory, lined up for the 2-point conversion, but Stockstill's pass was batted away by Jim Burt, and the Hurricanes hand Florida State their only defeat of the season 10-9. The following week, the Seminoles went to the Midwest, moved into Memorial Stadium, Lincoln, Nebraska, for the first meeting ever between Florida State and the Cornhuskers. And the first half belonged totally to Nebraska. At this point, they led 7-0. And Jarvis Redwine, who picked up 145 yards on the day, moves deep into Florida State territory. That set up the Cornhuskers' second touchdown of the first half. The quarterback, number 11, Jeff Quinn, finding number 29, Todd Brown, for the touchdown to make it 14-0. The halftime score was 14-3 because it was a tough 30 minutes for Rick Stockstill, as you see his numbers for the season. Stockstill couldn't get anything going in the first half that day at Lincoln. Late in the first half, goes back to pass, gets blindsided and sacked by number 6, Sammy Sims. But the second half resurgence was led by Sam Platt, Florida State's leading rusher. Score at this point 14-6. Sam Platt taking the pitch, moving to the right side, getting in for the touchdown to make it Nebraska 14, Florida State 12. Shortly thereafter, Bill Capice kicked the field goal to move Florida State into the lead. He's made 21 out of 28 this season. Then late in the fourth quarter, Capice kicks his 4th field goal of the afternoon. And in Lincoln, Florida State leads the score 18-14 at this point, but the Cornhuskers weren't finished. They had it 4th down and goal, late fourth quarter. Quinn trying to pass, but Paul Porowski with a sack. Florida State recovers the fumble. They're able to run out the clock, and the Seminoles win the game. The score 18-14 as Capice kicks 4 field goals. The next week, Florida State took on Pitt. Highlights of that game when we come back.
Color can't wait.
For half a century, aluminum has played an important role in the development of the automobile. That's especially true today. Aluminum's now being used in dozens of new ways to reduce weight and increase fuel economies. There's a real demand for the lean and lively cars of the 80s, because the more aluminum we put into them, the more MPGs you get out of them.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
No experience, no job. I could do that job, but who'd give me the chance?
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines.
We don't ask for experience, we give it. You won't read it in a book, you live it. Pick a service, pick a challenge, set yourself apart.
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. What a great place, it's a great place to start.
STP, a big name in racing for nearly 20 years. STP oil treatment on the track in some of the world's most expensive engines. Around the track, around the world, every day, tens of thousands of people get STP oil treatment. Get it for your car. Satisfaction guaranteed. Around the track, around the world, STP oil treatment is #1.
Have a look now at the current top 10 in the country. Florida State, as we begin play today, is ranked 3rd. Now, we have just seen highlights of their upset win in Lincoln, Nebraska on the 4th of October against the Cornhuskers. At that point, Nebraska was unbeaten, and Nebraska is currently ranked 9th in the country. A tough test the following week also for the Seminoles as they took on the Pittsburgh Panthers, who are currently ranked 4th in the country. Pitt came into that game unbeaten and over 2 seasons had a 14-game winning streak on the night of October the 11th before a full house at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. Now, one of the very big men for Florida State, number 3, the punter, Ron Stark. He's averaging 45.7 yards a kick. He is 3rd in the country. Early in that game, he got off a beauty. He was a major weapon all evening long here. A 67-yard Stark punt, his longest of the season, pinning Pitt deep in its own territory. Ron Stark, number 3. Sam Childers, we saw him catch the touchdown pass in the Miami game. He's caught 2 on the season. The other came here that night against Pittsburgh. Stockstill faking, then finding Childers in the end zone for the score as the first half belonged to Florida State. As time was running down at the end of the second quarter, Danny Marino goes back to pass for Pittsburgh, going deep, but his pass is intercepted by number 28, Keith Jones. And with time running out in the first half, Jones runs it back into Panther territory, and with only 3 seconds left on the clock, Bill Capice then kicks a 50-yard field goal. the third of 5 Capiz kicked that evening. And as the teams went off at the half in Tallahassee, Florida State was out in front, 23-7. But the Panthers were surging in the second half. We're down by only 7. But then Joe McCall fumbles, and Florida State recovers. Kurt Unglaub, number 19, who's caught 2 touchdown passes this season and 10 passes overall, was then the man Stockstill went to. In the left corner of the end zone, finds him for the touchdown to make the score 36-22. Monk Bonasorte, defensive back for Florida State, a native of Pittsburgh. What a great throw for him as he is able to pick off a pass against the Panthers. That was the 6th of 7 Pittsburgh turnovers that night as Florida State hands Pittsburgh its only loss of the season, 36-22. So some of the highlights from Florida State's 1980 campaign. Coming in today with a record of 9-1. And college football today continues from Tallahassee right after this message.
What I know about my car could fit in the glove compartment. I just want someone to work on it I can trust.
My mechanics and I are professionals. We take pride in our work, and that builds trust.
I've always figured the best mechanics use quality parts.
If a part fails, it's my reputation that's damaged. So I use Napa brand parts. Lots of them are better than original parts.
For quality parts you can trust, look for the Napa sign. When the name is Napa, the standard is quality.
Cellini Cologne, for the man who loves life. Cellini Cologne for men, created in Italy by Fabergé.
You know, oftentimes when we present an interstate rivalry, we tell you that these two schools have met since 1910 or even back in the 1800s. That's not the case here. This is a relatively new rivalry, and the reason is quite simple. Florida's been around a long time as a football power. They first played football in 1906. But keep in mind that Florida State was an all-women's school until the year 1946, and so this rivalry did not commence until 1958. It's been in effect only for 23 years. And as we take a look back at some of the old Florida State yearbooks, you can see some of their athletic teams back in the early 1900s, and I guess at that point the Seminoles were thinking that someday their big rival might be a school like Vassar or perhaps even Smith. Little did they realize that someday they would have a tremendous rivalry with the University of Florida, which is located in Gainesville. The first male was finally admitted to the campus here in Tallahassee in 1946, and then they fielded their first football team in 1947. But it was not until 1958, as I say, that this rivalry did get underway. And of course, in the early confrontations, there was really not a great deal of competition. You can see in 1961, Florida State was able to tie Florida. They regarded that as a major victory. Then they finally won a game over the Gators in 1964. Then Florida started to dominate again through the mid-60s. FSU with a victory in 1967. But then look at Florida, 68, 69, and 70, a victory there. And then through the 70s, and in 1973, Florida won at 49-0. But it all turned around in 1977. State with a win, again in 78, again in 79, and so Florida State comes in today having defeated Florida the last 3 years. And overall, in the 22 meetings between these schools, Florida has won 16, State has won 5, and one game ended in a tie. So we're set now for the renewal of the Florida State rivalry. The Gators and the Seminoles coming up from Tallahassee following this word from our local stations.
There are some who never taste glory. There are others who have their chance taken from them.
He's a cripple. He's just not very good.
And there are those who have the courage to come fighting back.
I love you, Rocky.
Robert Urich stars in Rocky Blyer's Battle Against All Odds, Sunday.
Closeout discounts on 1981s? That's just what you get at Capital Lincoln Mercury in Tallahassee.
$1,000 discounts on the all-new 81 Cougar, on XR7s, on luxurious 81 Grand Marquis and Marquis Brooms. $1,000 discounts even on gas-saving 81 Zephyrs and Capris. Capital has an excellent selection of these 81s, but at these prices, they won't last long. So hurry to Capital Lincoln Mercury in Tallahassee, home of the new world car, the Lynx, now on display.
Most people think two rivals like us can never agree on anything. They're wrong. We agree that everybody loves a winner.
A wiener, Charlie, a wiener.
Bobby, I thought we were talking about football, not hot dogs.
Well, not just any hot dog, Charlie. A Like's Plumper hot dog. The best you can buy.
The best you can bite, too.
Huh?
Because these are the kind our fans like best.
You mean we really do agree on something?
Finally.
Hey, folks, this hot dog just made history.
Like's Plumper hot dogs in the new 1-pound pack.
Need tires? Go to a friend who's in the business. You'll get safe, long-wearing tires, and you'll get them at the best possible price. Because a friend will look after your interest as well as his own. That's our philosophy at Rainey Cawthons and Tallahassee Tire. We sell only Goodyear tires because Goodyear's #1. What's more, you'll get prices like these and the best selection within 250 miles. The next time you need tires, remember this. At Rainey Cawthons and Tallahassee Tire, you've got friends in the business.
Tallahassee 27, WECA.
ABC Sports presents NCAA College Football. From Tallahassee, Florida, it's the Florida Gators and the Florida State Seminoles. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet and your Chevy dealer with Chevette, Monza, Citation, and the new Monte Carlo. Chevy's up ahead for 1981. By Goodyear, makers of Arriva. Even its footprint tells you it's different. By Lowenbrau. When you want the taste of a truly great beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrau. And by JCPenney. More than 1,600 stores throughout the nation. JCPenney Auto Centers and JCPenney Shop at Home catalog. We're live from Tallahassee, Florida, as Florida takes on Florida State before more than 53,000 at Joe Campbell Stadium. The Florida Gators on their way to the Tangerine Bowl. They'll be there in 2 weeks in Orlando to take on Maryland. Florida State ranked 3rd in the country. And, of course, they have accepted an Orange Bowl bid to face Oklahoma as the Florida Gators come out onto the field. 7 wins, 3 losses, including that decision to Georgia when they had the game in hand late, but Lindsey Scott caught a 93-yard touchdown pass from Buck Bellew. Coming 7-3, and here come the Seminoles. 9 wins, 1 loss. They'll face Oklahoma on New Year's night. Florida State. The Flaming Spear. And watch this act. As they'll take it out to midfield. And you might be penalized for spiking the ball in college football, but not for spiking the Flaming Spear. The Florida State mascot moving to midfield. And with the upcoming spike, the pregame festivities will be official as the crowd responds at Joe Campbell Stadium. They are in full voice already. Balloons going up. Quite a spectacle. And to think this is a school that was really thinking about giving up football only 5 years ago. All of a sudden, they've got an outside shot at a national championship. That's how quickly things have turned around here in Tallahassee. Al Michaels joined now by Ara Farseghian, and quite a spectacle. Ara, as far as Florida State is concerned, we know they're good. 3rd in the country, 9-1. But let me ask you about the layoff. They haven't played a game since November the 8th. It's been 4 weeks. What effect will that have?
Well, 4 weeks is a long time without a football game, and preparation becomes very paramount. You don't want your team to peak too soon. And I think Bobby Bowden has done an excellent job. He gave them 10 days off, then he brought them back very lightly. And then, of course, he hopes that they will show here this afternoon. And I think all the accolades that have gone to Bobby Bowden are certainly justified. This man has done an unbelievable job here. You know, 3 years prior to the time that he came here, they had won but 4 football games. In the last 4 years, this man is 38-6. but yet there is still concern by all of the staff and all the fans here about what effect this will have on the Seminoles, this big layoff.
Talking about after effects, what about Florida? Last week, going to the Miami game, a lot of people think they have a good chance to win it. They look very bad. They got beat 31-7. Will they have a hangover from that?
Well, you know, they've had a turnaround season, too. You know, a year ago they were 0-10. They came back with 7 wins. They expected to win their 8th ball game against Miami last week. It was a mild upset. But my observations over my coaching career is that a winning team, when their pride is wounded, will come back and generally play well the following week. And I fully expect the Gators to put on quite a performance here this afternoon.
So, big interstate rivalry coming up. Florida State attempting to defeat Florida for the 4th consecutive time. The Gators and the Seminoles from Tallahassee kick off when we come back.
Hey, Ray, try Mattel Electronics' new Basketball 2, the all-pro version of the #1 selling electronic basketball game.
What's the difference, man?
Now you can pass between players.
Hey, that's new.
So's the three-point outside shot.
Ooh, I'm hot.
Our computer even calls fouls and penalties.
3 seconds is the key. Who's in there?
All-pro Basketball 2.
Who is in there?
Basketball 2, one of 9 sports games from the #1 name, Mattel Electronics.
Hey, you're driving half a car.
To prove Haviland Supreme gives cars engine protection up front.
I know, but...
Well, you should know. It delivered proven protection in punishing state trooper testing.
Yeah, but...
Where's the rest of my car?
Yeah.
Here it comes. To prove Texaco's Haviland Supreme delivered improved mileage, too. Upfront protection backed by improved mileage. That's Haviland Supreme.
Do me a favor.
I know. Prove how good Haviland is in the next county, huh? All right.
You know, this hat is the sign of one of America's largest, most important insurance companies, Fireman's Fund. But right now, we're going to beat the drums for a sign that's even more important to you. It belongs to the independent agents who sell our insurance, who choose from several companies to find the best policy and price. So look for the sign of the independent agents. They work for you to beat the band. In the yellow pages, Fireman's Fund Insurance Companies.
Florida State will be kicking off to Florida. Bill Capice will put it in the air, one of the country's premier place kickers. John L. Brown, Ivory Curry are back deep for Florida. And Capice putting this one into the end zone for the touchback. Curry downing it there. Wayne Peace starting at quarterback for Florida. The impressive freshman. James Jones, former tight end, at one running back spot. They go with Doug Kellum at the other. There's the All-America wide receiver, Chris Collinsworth. You've got Spencer Jackson as the split end, number 89, and we'll also see a lot of Tyrone Young. Now, Florida, in its last several games, has been going with a 4-receiver offense, but not now. As they open up, they go with Jones and Kellum. So the first time that they have used this set at the onset of a game in over a month. A flag goes down on the first play as Doug Kellum takes it out to the 27-yard line. And immediately a penalty marker.
Looked like Dan Fike might have jumped.
And it's a procedure call going against the Gators to nullify the 7-yard pickup. It'll cost them 5 and make it 1st and 15. Joe Wickline is probably the Gators' best offensive lineman. Jim Subers, 248-pound senior. Redmond, 237-pounder. Dan Plonk on the left side at 244, and Dan Fike at 256, a sophomore from Pensacola. Chris Faulkner, the all-conference tight end. At the 15, it's 1st and 15. And again, it's Kellum. Good hold to the 20, to the 25, out past the 30, to the 35-yard line. Keith Jones, the safety, making the stop. So the Gators, who have been going through the air of late, open up on the ground today, Ara.
A little different look. Charlie Pell told me they had to establish a running game. A beautiful lead block by Jones on the linebacker, number 39, Herring. And, of course, Kellum makes a real fine game. When you do this against the Seminoles, it's not easily done because they're the #1 defensive team in the country.
Ball just short of the 35-yard line. 1st and 10. Pickup of 3 over the right side for Doug Kellum. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Up front, you've got Scott. Then the man to watch really is Ron Simmons, the nose guard. Finished 9th in the Heisman balloting last year, but he's been hurt a good part of this season. Herring is a fine one. Porowski, the other linebacker. And Butler is as good as most cornerbacks in the country, number 21. Good matchup with Butler working on Collinsworth today, a pair of 21s. 2nd down and 7. Gators from their own 37-yard line. The fake to Kellen. Peace goes to the air and overshoots Young at 6 feet 6. The pass too high. Montfonassort covering on the play. Wayne Peace given the starter's role when Bob Yuko was hurt early in the season. Yuko undergoing knee surgery. Peace doing a very good job with the new offense, in particular in that Georgia game. It was quite impressive going with the 4 wide receivers. It was semi-impressive against Kentucky and not impressive at all last week against Miami, so Florida goes back to basics. 3rd down and 7 from the 37. With Kellum in motion, they give it to Jones on a draw, and it does not fool anybody. Number 53, Paul Porowski, reading it perfectly, stopping him for the loss, and the Gators to kick it.
There's a good series there. Porowski fired that time, anticipating the pass, and they ran a draw play. He picked it up for negative yardage. Number 2 tackler, Porowski.
Mark Dickert, who had been kicking well until recently, to kick. Gary Henry is the single safety for Florida State. Dickert getting the kickoff, and a fair catch is called for and made at the 32-yard line by Henry. So Florida State to take over offensively there for their first series. Rick Stockstill is the quarterback. The junior, Sam Platt, is their leading ground gainer. Could go over 1,000 today. Mike Whiting has been hampered by an ankle injury, but he is now healthy. Kurt Unglaub starting at 1 wide receiver spot. 22, Hardis Johnson at the other spot. First down, Florida State at their own 32-yard line. Early first quarter with no score. Platt with a little bit of room and out to the 35-yard line where David Little, Larry's brother, makes the stop. Up front, you've got Ken Lanier. They recruited him from Columbus, Ohio. Greg Fudge, the offensive guard from Ocala. John Madden is the center, no relation. Lee Adams, a senior from Ruskin, number 63. You've got Brannon, 6'4", 260-pounder. And Sam Childers, the tight end, highlighted him in our pregame show, caught 2 touchdown passes this season. 2nd and 7 from the 35-yard line, and it's Platt again, bunched up in the middle. Picks up maybe a yard. Doc Lucky was among those to greet him, number 72. The Gators defensively with Golden, Galloway, Fisher, Doc Lucky, and Val Brown up front. The linebackers, Little and Jackson, are very good. Then you've got Knight, Vaughn, McKeever, and Lilly starting in the secondary. Tim Grove still bothered and not in there at the outset. 3rd down, 7 from the 35. Give it to Platt again as they stay pretty simple. And Platt gets out close to a first down. May have it, depending on where they spot it. Official moving it back just a bit. They look over and they'll bring the chain out.
They're going to measure. The tackle was by David Little, number 15.
Very fundamental team, the Seminoles. They just run about 4 or 5 basic plays. They rely on their defense and kicking. And, of course, when they get in good field position, they'll go ahead and throw it.
Florida State scores a lot of points, but they really don't have an explosive offense. They pick up the first down. You just said, Ara, they stay basic. What's happened this year, of course, with the #1 defense in the country, they've had tremendous field position off times, and as a consequence, from time to time, they score 30, 40, maybe even 50 points.
Well, the disproportionate yardage that they make, 346 yards a game, and they get on the board 33.5 on an average. That's a lot of points for just that short amount of yardage.
First down, Florida State from their own 42-yard line. Again, it's Platt, his 4th straight carry, and they deck him at the 43-yard line. That hit made by Fernando Jackson, a sophomore from Blountstown, Florida. So Platt, who came into the game with 954 yards, has already carried 4 times.
At the 43-yard line.
Good hit there by Jackson. He really flowed over with a play and made an excellent hit.
The Seminoles, 2nd down and 9. Florida State has scored 335 points this season, and they've given up only 72. Stockstill on a roll and going down Johnson at the 44-yard line. Hardest Johnson making his 18th reception of the season, and the Seminoles have their second straight first down.
Well-executed rollout pass. You see Johnson here drives off the defenders. He really puts on good speed here like he's going to go deep. Look at here. Still looks like he's going deep. Now watch him plant and go to the outside after he's got the defense driven off and turn out. The rollout by Stockstill is perfect, and it's a well-executed play.
First down at the Gator 43-yard line. Platt going to the short side of the field, looking for some room, and they whistle it dead. He moved downfield, but he was out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Sam Platt. Florida State, when they go to the air, they do not necessarily go to their wide receivers with any great regularity. Their leading receiver would be the fullback, Whiting, who's caught 24, and Platt is tied for fourth. He's caught 14.
Pretty well balanced, but they really, as you pointed out, relied on that defense. But you can see here, the execution offensively wouldn't suggest that they have missed 4 weeks.
Second down, 4 from the 37-yard line. With Johnson in motion, again they give it to Platt on the same basic play, and Platt gets stacked up at the 31 as David Little makes the tackle, and it should be a first down. And is. Look at Mike Whiting, number 27. Whiting bothered by an ankle injury, and the 4 weeks off have really helped Whiting. It was doubtful he could have played even 2 weeks ago, maybe last week had they had a game, but now he's almost back to 100%.
Well, that's one of the advantages, they said, of the layoff, that they did get Whiting well during that period.
First down, Florida State from the 31-yard line. Stockstill retreating and getting good protection and throwing, and it's batted away. On the far side, Sam Childers was the intended receiver, and Vito McKeever, number 36, who picked off a pass in the Georgia game, batting this one away.
McKeever does a great job. You can see the tight end here. Childers will release off the line, and then you'll see McKeever come in here. He's just a freshman. You see 84 Childers underneath. Now watch McKeever come in here and knock that ball away with good ball reaction. Right there. Beautiful defense.
Second down and 10. Ball at the 31-yard line. Flat, and they smell that one and stop him for no gain. Ron Coleman reading it, number 92. Senior, 6'4", 252-pounder from Tampa, Florida. Bobby Bowden wearing the headset. And we weren't exaggerating when we said earlier that Florida State, really 5 years ago, they were thinking about just forgetting football.
Incredible, and the pre-game response by the fans was really something.
Third and 10 from the 32-yard line. Stockstill going to Johnson, and Johnson wriggles his way down to the 27-yard line. Very little blocking in his front, and David Little makes the tackle, and they'll be shy of a first down by about 6. So Florida State will try to put 3 on the board. The line of scrimmage is the 27. And upcoming will be a 44-yard attempt by Bill Capiz, who's kicked 21 out of 28 this season, his longest 50 yards. Kurt Unglaub holding, and Capiz's kick is good. Number 22 for Capiz, 2 more, and he'll set a new NCAA record. 8:25 to go in the quarter. 3-0 Seminoles.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. The beer.
Building inspector.
Hey, what are you guys doing here?
I didn't believe you two could build your own house.
Yeah, well, don't look. It's not finished.
Well, I guess we'll just take our loan brown and go home. Well, maybe one quick look around.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Low and Brow.
What are you going to do when you finish this place? Just what I'm doing right now.
They wanted you to build bridges over rivers, but you had other plans.
And Monte Carlo.
Your car is the strikingly new 1981 Monte Carlo, with the economy of a responsive V6 and fresh, clean, sharply sculpted lines. And you'll choose it because you're proud of who you are.
You and Monte Carlo.
1981 Monte Carlo, a matter of personal pride from Chevrolet.
Bill Capice, with that field goal, now has 22. The NCAA record was just set this season. Obed Ariri of Clemson kicked 23. So Capice coming into the game with 21 and adding one here, and has 51 minutes and 35 seconds to get two more, and he'd love that record. He's come out stated as much, that it means a great deal to him. And he'll be kicking off here to Ivory Curry, number 26, the deepest of the three. Capice put his last kickoff in the end zone. This one in the same general vicinity, but not quite as deep, and fielded up at the 1-yard line to the 10, John L. Brown, and he is stopped at about the 20. John Houston making the tackle for Florida State. So the Gators, the resurging Gators, a team that went 0-10-1 last season, and now they go into the Tangerine Bowl, trailing 3-0. First and 10 at the 20-yard line. As you can see, it's a perfect day. Temperature 73 degrees. Very pleasant, very light breeze. Tyrone Young lining up as a running back, but now going in motion, leaving only Jones back there. He's rolling, has a little bit of room, and gets out to the 24-yard line where Kurowski makes the tackle, number 53.
Well, it's a little different look offensively. They went to the double slot a week ago, and now they're lining up in a pure pro, and of course getting to trips by putting the man in motion. They hope to confuse Florida State with that technique. Charlie Pell said this was going to be different, and they did have open receivers that time, but Peace elected to run the ball.
The last graphic illustrating the dominant defense of Florida State. Number 1 in overall defense. Number 1 in scoring defense. On second down and 6, the pass intended for Young going out of bounds. And it will be third down and 6. James Harris, 33, providing the coverage on the play. Florida is a very young team. Peace, a freshman. Most of their starters will be back. Florida State is a very experienced team with a lot of seniors, and next year, if you can believe it, Florida State, as you look at Florida coach Charlie Pell, the Seminoles will play Ohio State, Notre Dame, Pitt, LSU, and Nebraska all on the road. Third down and 6. Peace looking for Young again and has it for a first down at the 36-yard line. Tyrone Young played quarterback briefly last year. This year he was suspended at the outset of the season, a disciplinary measure, and Young did not play until mid-season.
Keep in mind that he's 6'6" as he comes down the field. A little look-in pattern. Peace throws it well. You see how high he is going to get that ball. It's going to make it tough for James Harris, 33, to get up that high.
First down Gators at their own 36-yard line. Florida State leading 3-0 halfway through the first quarter. Out past the 40 to the 44-yard line. James Jones, number 30, sophomore from Pompano Beach, Florida. Converted tight end. Kersey making the stop. Here's the experience difference. You can see it graphically illustrated.
You really see it. Look at the senior category, the bottom there, 15-7, and that's why Florida State has been so strong. They're a seasoned, experienced team. The quality of the players on both sides of the line are about even. The difference, of course, is the amount of play they have.
Second down and a short 2 from the 45-yard line, and Jones gets the 2 and about 3 more to the 50, and a fumble at the 50-yard line, and Florida State has it. Reggie Herring, number 39, the linebacker, coming up with it. After Jones had scrambled to pick up that first down, and the ball coming out late.
Let's see if we can see whether or not he was stopped or not. This is Jones, number 30. He rolls off well. He keeps his balance. Yes, it is a legitimate fumble.
First down Seminoles now as Whiting, with his first carry of the day, nudges it into Florida territory, getting to about the 48-yard line. It'll be second down and 8 at the 48.
We're talking watching some of the writers that follow Florida State. They say don't worry too much if the team doesn't move the ball well offensively. He says they know the defense will hold. They'll finally get field position. So they don't get all shaken up if they don't make a first down.
And you caught a glimpse of Reggie Herring was the man who recovered the fumble by Jones. And on 2nd and 8, they pitch it. Coming to the near side is Platt, and he gets to the 42-yard line. Shy of the first down by 2, Fernando Jackson running them out at that spot.
Well, you consider the quality of teams that Florida State has beaten. You're talking about teams like Pittsburgh and Nebraska. You know that they've had to perform exceptionally well because those are top football teams.
Sam Platt has already carried 8 times. He's picked up 29 yards. 3rd down 2, Florida State at the Florida 42-yard line. State leading 3-0, 5:40 to go, first quarter. Platt again, and stacked up at the 41. I don't think he got it. David Little making the tackle. He needed to get inside the 41-yard line. Jackson also helping out. Stockstill checking with the bench. They spotted at the 42. They're still shy by a yard and a half, and it's 4th down.
Looks like they're going to go, Al.
Well, with a defense like that, you know, Bowden's got a lot of confidence in his defense, so he can afford to gamble a little bit, but now maybe he's thinking better of it. He's going to call for a timeout and explore the possibility even further. So timeout called by Florida State. 5 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the quarter. He'd win it down here. 3-0 Florida State. We'll be right back.
Goodyear adds something extra to radials. All-season performance. So radials like Arriva are built for sun, for rain, for snow. Arriva is a high-mileage, fuel-efficient, steel-belted radial. Even its footprint tells you it's different. So why buy a conventional radio when you can step up to Goodyear's newest all-season radial? Goodyear, quality and innovation.
For whatever you need, take the first step. The Bell System Yellow Pages.
For the food after my baby walked down the aisle.
For the photographer who told us all to smile.
We took the very first step. For this chauffeur limousine.
And a honeymoon that's simply a dream.
We're back in Florida State electing the punt. Ron Stark punting, and it's down at about the 11-yard line. So after calling timeout, Bobby Bowden deciding to go with his punter, one of the best in the country. As you look at the mentor at Florida State, a man who has an ongoing 5-year contract. Every year they renew it. And if Bowden were to leave, and it was his own idea, he would pay off the school for 5 years if he leaves Florida State. That's how much he wanted to sign a contract to stay here, and he thinks forever, and obviously they hope forever right now.
I think it's a very happy marriage, I'll tell you.
So Stark punting Florida deep into its own territory as the Gators take over at their own 12-yard line. Florida State leading 3-0 with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Peace has time and then throws nowhere. Chris Faulkner was the intended receiver. Well overthrown. Reggie Herring was in the area for Florida State.
Covered by Bobby Butler.
Peace is 1 out of 4 for 12 yards. Second down 10. Florida from its own 12-yard line. Kellerman Jones are the running backs. Peace on the option. Catching it to Jones, 15, and run out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
Nicely executed by Peace, the quarterback. Little reverse pivot down the line option. And they did an excellent job on it.
James Jones, in that offense they've been using the last 3 weeks, and a lot of you have seen 2 of those games. The Georgia game was televised to most of the country, and the Miami game was on last week in the East and South. Jones has been the sole running back in that set. Kellum has played sparingly since October. Third down and 5. They sent Kellum in motion. Peace finding Young out at the 24-yard line, and he draws a crowd but has the first down. James Harris helping to push him back, number 33. But his forward progress will net a Florida first down out of the 24-yard line.
Here we see Young again, number 10. They put trips to the opposite side. They got a 6'6" receiver with single coverage. And you see, of course, Bonasart, number 42, and 33, James Harris, finally get him down with some other help.
Tyrone Young, great athlete, played last year on Florida's basketball team. First down at the 25-yard line for the Gators. Jones out to the 30, Reggie Herring.
Jones, number 30, the ball carrier. Tackled by Reggie Herring, 39.
Charlie Pell earlier in the week, and he was concerned about Jones's availability. He had turf toe, which is a sprain of a toe as a result of the artificial surfaces. It's a very tender injury, but apparently he has recovered sufficiently to play in the ballgame.
James picking up 5 on that one. A look at Charlie Pell, second down 5 for his Gators at the 30. Kellum in motion. Peace looking for Young again. Incomplete, and Tyrone wants interference. It intends at James Harris at Grandin. Doesn't get the call.
I think we've got a good shot of this, Al. As Jones comes down, they faked a little look in here, try to run Harris. They put a little bait on him, but Harris runs with him. Let's see what kind of contact there is there. Well, I'll tell you, it's pretty thin there. They could have probably called it. It's a judgment call, and they elected not to call interference.
So back to the 30 on third down and 5 for Florida. Florida State leading 3-0 late first quarter. They send Jones in motion, leaving no running backs. So Peace obviously going to the air and under some pressure and has a man open and finds him at the 40-yard line. It's Chris Faulkner who gets to the 44. The tight end Faulkner, who has been playing out of a guard spot in that 4-wide receiver offense. He's been playing with a pullover jersey the last 3 weeks, but back at tight end today, number 80.
44-yard line.
On the play, they had no one in the backfield. Everybody was out as eligible receivers, and Florida State could not cover everyone, and you see Childers right here wide open. And you see Peace gets it to him before he is sacked, and of course it's a first down.
First down at the 44-yard line. Peace now 3 out of 7 for 33 yards. And Kellum gets it out past the 45 to the 47. Gain of 3. Simmons was there along with Borowski with a little bit more than 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. So Charlie Pell going back to the basics somewhat as you look at Faulkner, all SEC tight end, but that was based upon his early season performance. He hasn't been eligible to catch a pass of late. But back in more familiar territory today, and he's happy about it. Second down 7 from the 47. Peace going deep, but too long. And good coverage on the play. Collinsworth had no chance. Bobby Butler was back there. And also Keith Jones was covering, double teaming him.
Well, he elected to go for the home run, but Peace really overthrew the ball.
Chris Collinsworth making his mark. Coming up in the record book, the likes of Alvarez, of course, Wes Chandler, some of the great Florida receivers of the past. Chris earning his own niche. Senior. Could go high in the draft. Third down 7 from the 47. Kellum in motion. Peace looking for Young. He's out in front. 25 to 20. Tyrone inside the 10. And a touchdown for the Gators. 53 yards to Tyrone Young, who broke in mid-season this year as a wide receiver by catching 10 passes in the Georgia game.
He put a great move on Harris. He came down and fakes to the inside, and then breaks to the outside, and we'll see the replay of that right after the extra point.
Tyrone Young. I tell you, when you're 6'6", you are an inviting target. Brian Clark to attempt the point after. It's good. So Young catching his third pass of the day. Going in for the touchdown. Clark makes it Florida 7 and Florida State 3 with 2 minutes and 31 seconds remaining in the first period.
Well, this is a well-executed play. Of course, you see Peace right here. You don't see Tyrone Young. Here he comes into the picture right there, but he has put a move on Harris. Harris thought he was going to run that little look-in pattern again, and he hesitated just momentarily, and this guy just got too much speed, runs right by him, takes in the ball from Peace, and a great and well-executed touchdown pass. Now, here's the view of it right here. You see him put that move right there. Harris brought the package to go inside on the look-in, and it was too late. He made the big mistake, and there was 6 points on the board, and of course, with the extra point, it's 7-3.
So the Florida Gators move out in front. 2 minutes and 31 seconds remaining in the first quarter at Tallahassee. Gators by 4.
For whatever you need, take the first step, the Bell System Yellow Pages.
For the food after my baby walked down the aisle.
For the photographer who told us all to smile.
We took the very first step. For this chauffeur limousine.
And a honeymoon that's simply a dream. We took the very first step.
The first step puts you steps ahead, saves time, money, energy. So let your fingers do the walking.
It's the very first step. The first step.
Because they're fun, high school activities attract millions of participants each year. School activities help boys and girls develop physically and emotionally, too. The National Federation of State High School Associations urges you to support this valuable part of education.
Florida going 88 yards, of course, 53 in one chunk in 2:31 to go out in front as the Gators take a 7-3 advantage. And keep in mind, of course, Florida State has been averaging, giving up only 7.2 points per game all season, leading the nation in scoring defense. Back deep for Florida State is Larry Harris, number 30. And the kickoff is fielded up at the 17-yard line. Out past the 30, the 35 to the 40 is Ricky Williams with a good run back off the short kick. Have another look now, the touchdown to Tyrone Young.
Watch Young put the move on Harris, right? A little look in, and it is just a beautiful piece of offensive split end receiving. And he can really jump, too. Charlie Bell told me not only can he run, but he also can really jump. So it's going to be a long afternoon for Harris if he doesn't get some supporting help.
A look at Young, new tailback for Florida State. It's Ricky Williams. And Stockstill faking to Williams and then throwing, and his receiver, Sam Childers, falling down near midfield. Second and 10. The pressure that time, number 57, Tim Golden, coming in and forcing Stockstill to unload in a hurry.
You know, there was an excellent drive on the part of Florida. They completed 2 look-ins on crucial third down plays, and of course that set up that long touchdown by Tyrone Young, because he looked like he was going to do the same thing, and then away he goes.
Second down and 10, Florida State from its own 42-yard line. It's Williams who ran back that kickoff and stopped after a pickup of 1. Fernando Jackson, number 49, in there to make the play. And so it'll be third down. Call it 9. 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Gators on top, 7-3. Now, State coming up for the first time with split backs, and they fan him out into the pattern and then throw over the middle to the tight end, Childers. He was wide open and gets the first down at the 43-yard line. Sending both backs wide, and Childers cutting straight down the middle.
Well, Childers delayed, and then he came off. It's beautiful for the zone. You'll see him right here. You see him delaying in there. Childers number 84. Now he slow blocks, and then he comes off the line. The secondary is run off deep in zone coverage. Look at the daylight that he has to run into before they can bring him down.
First down State, and Stockstill fumbles and then gets back to the original line of scrimmage, maintaining possession. Val Brown falling on him there.
He was covered by Val Brown.
Second down and 10 at the 43 of the Gators.
Stockstill, you see, picking up the signal from Younglob as he came in. Let's see if they go to the air again. Split backs, they generally do.
2nd and 10. Stockstill keeping and burrowing to the 40-yard line. Doc Lucky making the tackle after a pickup of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Stockstill, his first year as the regular here, they went with Jimmy Jordan and Wally Woodham alternating. Stockstill taking over, though. He's been the main man running this offense for Bobby Bowden.
Well, his dad is a high school coach, and of course, Bobby Bowden told me he's just a winner. Just a guy that comes up with the big plays. He's cool and poised.
On 3rd and 7, a deep drop. The pressure breaks down. He loses the ball, but the play is whistled dead at the 49-yard line. Williams picking it up and advancing with it, but the play was blown dead at the 49. Roy Harris putting the pressure that time on Stockstill.
As we get to the defensive side of it, it'll be interesting to see whether or not the Florida State coaches move Butler, Bobby Butler, their great defensive halfback, over to cover the Tyrone Young.
Stark in the punt for the 2nd time. His first kick from just about the same area, and it was downed on the 12. Stark trying to put it into the corner, but it gets to the end zone first. So out to the 20-yard line come the Gators, following the touchback with just 2 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Florida with the ball and on top 7-3. Coming up on Monday Night Football, the gang will be in the Orange Bowl in Miami. The New England Patriots fighting for a playoff spot, trying to rebound after their loss last week to the 49ers, taking on the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern time. Final play here, first quarter, John L. Brown in at a running back spot, number 14, and it's Brown getting the ball and going nowhere.
Well, we continue to cover the receivers. Bobby Butler on Chris Collinsworth, and Harris is still on Young.
That's the end of the first quarter at Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida. After 1, Florida leading Florida State 7-3.
Wendy's has the taste.
Double and triple.
Hamburgers fresh, not frozen. We have the taste.
Great chili.
The others have their slogans. Wendy's makes them fresh each day. Serves them up to you hot off the grill.
256 ways.
The way a good restaurant will. We have the taste.
Thick, frosty.
Wendy's has the taste. Wendy's old-fashioned hamburger taste. We have the taste. That's Wendy's taste. We have the taste. That's Wendy's.
Foam and edge. Which one do you think is going to give you a closer shave?
Probably the foam.
Foam.
I wouldn't know the difference between one and the other.
We asked each man to test foam on one side, edge on the other. Edge is not a foam, it's a gel that lubricates better than foams, lets you shave close.
In your honest opinion, which side gave you a closer shave?
The edge side? The edge side. The edge side.
Without a doubt?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Edge tests show most men agree. Edge lets you shave closer than foams.
I got a better shave with the edge.
Okay, which one? The famous alligator or the fox from JCPenney? The alligator sweater has that great fit, comfort, quality, and easy care fabric. But so does the fox. The alligator comes in all these terrific colors. But so does the fox. And a fox for golf, too? So what's the difference?
About $5 less. See you later, alligator.
As we start the second quarter, you're looking at Ron Simmons, who is on the bench right now. Ron Simmons had his ankle taped up. He hurt his ankle earlier in the season, in the very first game, as a matter of fact, against LSU. Then missed a couple of games and has come out for this series. As play resumes in the second quarter, it's 2nd down and 10, Florida from the 20. Tyrone Young gets out to the 29-yard line. Tyrone, a receiver, if he can run, and last year he played quarterback some of the time.
He's doing it all, isn't it? At first he's a threat when he comes around the corner. He's a quarterback, can throw the football beyond his running ability and receiving ability. Here, he's looking for the possibility of a running pass. He elects to keep it and picks up good yardage.
Wayne Peace helping to clear the way. 3rd down, 2 at at the 28. Double tight end setup. Give it to the I-back, John L. Brown. And he gets the first down out to the 35-yard line.
14, the ball carrier.
Bonasart and Jones in there to make the stop.
Motion by the Gators.
Yep. Penalty marker back at the 21-yard line, which may nullify the first down and will. Because of illegal motion.
These are tough penalties. You've got a first down, and you'd have motion in the backfield, and now you come up with 3rd and 7.
So instead of the first, it's 3rd down and 6. Simmons is now back in the game after getting his ankle retaped at nose guard, number 50. 3rd and 6. Young in motion. Pitch it to Young. He's looking to throw. Tyrone going deep, and it will be picked off at the 40-yard line by Bobby Butler. Collinsworth, the intended receiver, but Young's pass too long, overshooting Chris by about 7 yards, and Butler right there. Wasn't fooled at all.
Well, they tried to set it up with that pitch sweep on the previous play. They come back with the same thing. Here you see Collinsworth, number 21, pauses and goes. And the ball is thrown, but it's thrown too long. No open receiver and intercepted.
The Seminoles get it back at their own 38-yard line. Florida leading 7-3. Early second period. Williams. A yard, maybe 2.
Ricky Williams, number 44.
Fernando Jackson making the tackle.
Fernando Jackson, number 49.
Florida defense is playing very well. Reacting well to the ball. Coverage has been good. And it appears that they have a very good offensive game plan.
Second down. Call it 8. From the 39. Stockstill. A lot of time, but nobody's open. And he gets out to the 40-yard line. Doc Lucky making the tackle from arrears.
The protection was good enough, and they just couldn't find an open receiver. You can see the turnover ratio. Both of these teams have been stingy. Giving the ball away, and of course the takeaway is terrific. This is why they've won. And of course both coaches respected the fact that they're tough to play against because they play field position football, make it tough for them to beat you.
3rd down and 8. Stockstill under a lot of pressure, and it's intercepted. The tip pass is picked off by David Little, who gets it back to the 36-yard line. Sam Childers got a hand up, and that's all. And Little puts Florida in good shape. Robin Fisher was the man who came flying through to pressure Stockstill.
Here you see right here, Little. I think Stockstill would like to have that one back. There was a lot of people around the intended receiver. Overthrew the ball. It was deflected. And, of course, you see Little here, All-American. Great football player. Intercepts the ball and puts Florida in great field position.
The Gators at the state 36-yard line. 1st and 10. Kellum. A gain of 5 to the 31. Karowski there to make the stop.
Tackled by Paul Karowski, 53.
They're establishing that running game that Charlie Pell was interested in doing. He felt that they just hadn't run the ball effectively enough, and unless you pick up 4 and 5 yards on the first downs, why, that's very helpful to the offense.
Second down, 5. Florida at the Florida State 31-yard line. 12 minutes to go in the half. Jones. Getting close to a first down. Out of bounds near the yardstick. James Harris covering on the play. Charlie Pell turned the program around at Clemson. Before that, he was at Jacksonville State, that school located in Alabama. Did a fine job there. Now in his 2nd season at Florida. Winless last year and seeking his 8th win this year. They're shy of a first down. 3rd down, less than a yard at the 26. 2 tight ends. And they give it to Kellum, and he nets the first, getting to the 23-yard line.
You know, Al, one of the strategies here that is very effective, of course, with Florida is I'm sure that Florida State worked during that period of time in defending the double slot and anticipating nothing but pass, pass, pass. And here they come out, Florida comes out, and they work on their running game, and they've been doing it effectively. So that change of pace, plus the layoff, may have had some effect on this team. I'm talking about Florida State.
Florida at the 23-yard line. And again, it's Kellum. And he's driven back, but they'll give him forward progress just about to the line of scrimmage. Do you think that Bowden really felt that Florida would come out with the same offense they've been using in the last 3 weeks, Arrow, or do you think that he knew that Florida might go back to more of the basics?
Well, no, I don't think he thought they was going to go back to this running attack, which Pell wanted to establish. I think that he felt that they would come out in some different formations because they had done a lot of that, but anticipated trips one way or the double slot, and basically the concept of 4 receivers and throwing it.
Second down, 10 from the 23-yard line. That's Kellum going in motion. And they give it on the draw to Jones, and he's wrapped up on a great play by Porowski, who underwent an appendectomy earlier in the season and then literally played in a game 10 days later, just for one play, and then came back almost full-time 17 days after the surgery.
He's really a tough kid. Watch him fire here, number 53. He comes right through the gap. It's a little delayed draw. He smells it out beautifully. You see Jones getting the ball on the draw from Peace, and here's Porowski coming right in before he has any chance at all. And as Al pointed out, he had an appendectomy, and I think that Bobby Bowden had to run him off the field. I think it was 10 days afterwards. He was out in full pads wanting to play.
So Porowski makes the play here. Florida is going to take a timeout with 3rd and 17 upcoming. 10 minutes to go to the half. Florida by 4.
Feeling 7 up, I'm feeling 7 up. Sharing styles, sharing smiles, feeling 7 up, 7 up. It's a crisp, refreshing feeling, crystal clear and light, clear and Mary's turning 7 up, and it sure feels right.
Now you see the ball, now you don't. Look at my hand now. What?
Feeling 7, 7, 7 up.
You've got it, Art. I'm Pete Conrad in the cockpit of a McDonnell Douglas DC-10. I've talked to DC-10 pilots, and one thing comes through loud and clear: their confidence in this airplane. And no wonder. The DC-10 proves itself in the air, serving 90 countries, flying 1 million miles a day. The DC-10, one of the most thoroughly tested airliners ever built. I've got it, Art.
Next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports, championship boxing. Salvador Sanchez in one report. Fight for the WBC World Featherweight title. Next Saturday on ABC.
10 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the half. Al Michaels and Aaron Parsekian with you from Tallahassee. Florida has it 3rd down, 17 at the Florida State 30. The Gators lead 7-3. Go on the offense they've been using of late, with Young taking the pitch here. Tyrone's not going to throw it this time, turns the corner inside the 25 and run out of the 22-yard line by Keith Jones.
He's some kind of an athlete, isn't he? He's doing it all. Here it is. He just a sweep again. Look at the way he's holding that ball. It's a little dangerous. Got to put it away. There he is. He puts it away. He gets hit, but for 6'6", you know, he can really stride out.
So on 4th down, they'll attempt a field goal from the 28-yard line. It'll be a 38-yard effort by Brian Clark. And the kick is and good. So Brian Clark with 4-point. And the field goal here coming with 9:55 remaining in the second quarter.
Well, I think Stockstill, as I pointed out, would like to have had that ball back after he threw it. Generally, his judgment is excellent, but I think on that occasion, he made an error there, throwing right into trouble, and of course the interception that led to this field goal.
It's the first half of our NCAA doubleheader, and the second half, the great rivalry continues on. It is dear, of course, to the heart of my colleague today, Notre Dame and USC from the Coliseum to wrap up the regular season.
Well, there'll be 90,000 or plus in that stadium again. I know what it feels like. It's something.
Steve trying to avoid a 3rd straight loss And, of course, for the Irish, it's Dan Devine's final game in the regular season.
Larry Harris, number 30, is
Super
deep
Bowl
for the
to be
Seminoles.
George Day. 10-3 Florida on top as Brian Clark kicks off. Larry Harris fielding it 8 yards deep and not coming out with it. They'll put it down at the 20 and stay trailing by 7. We'll start from there. There's Wayne Peace, the freshman, on the young Florida team that has been molded by Charlie Pell last year. Looking for their 8th win of this season, and one more still to go because they'll face Maryland in the Tangerine Bowl in Orlando in 2 weeks.
Certainly looking good thus far in this game.
The Seminoles at the 20. 1st and 10. Stockstill incomplete out of the 25, intended for Sam Childers. Covered on the play by Tim Golden, number 57.
The pass was intended for Sam Childers, incomplete, covered by Tim Golden.
2nd down and 10. Ricky Williams in again at the I-back spot. Flat started, but Sam right now on the bench. 2nd and 10. Williams breaks a tackle, gets to the 26, so he turns no gain into a 6-yard pickup as Kyle Knight finally makes the stop.
I actually think that he missed the hole. The hole was off to his right, and he cut it back a little too soon. He did a great job of running. Let's see if we can see the hole. It'll be to the left here of Williams, and he cuts it clear back inside. Well, we can't quite see it. I thought he ran into traffic, but watch this hard running and determination. Shaking tacklers loose, picks up yardage that he had no business getting. Only a good running back will do that.
3rd down and 4. Florida State at its own 26-yard line. Whiting bumping his way forward and just about didn't get to the 30, as you can see, but maybe a little shy. Remember, the nose of that ball has to be right on the stripe, and if it's not, it'll be 4th down, and they are shy by about half a yard.
Tackled by Robin Fisher, number 66, and others.
So Florida State unable to pick up the first and forced to kick as Stark comes in. Stark, first-team UPI All-American. 45.7, his average coming into the game. That was 3rd best in the country. He started play today. Tremendous kick. A bomb fielded at the 8-yard line. Out to the 15, to the 20, and to the 23 is Ivory Curry. 62-yard kick for Stark. His best of the year, 67 against Pitt. 8:24 to go. First half at Tallahassee. Florida 10 and Florida State 3.
Parcel Service in Mountain View, California runs their Chevy Chevette fleet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So they know Chevette's durable enough to stay in service. To be in any business today, you've got to cover a lot of territory. And that's one of the reasons you'll see Chevy Chevette working all over the country. And starring in the Joey Chitwood Thrill Show, the 1981 Chevy Chevette. One tough son of a gun.
Mr. Goodwrench, can I get an oil change, filter, and lube job in a hurry?
Sure. I'll do it while you wait.
Mr. Goodwrench knows you don't have time to waste, so he can offer while you wait service on many popular jobs. And he has the special GM tools, GM training, and genuine GM parts available to back it up.
All done? That was fast.
Well, time is money, Sam.
Keep that great GM feeling.
Where Mr. Goodwrench works.
With genuine GM parts.
Tallahassee, Florida, where the Gators are leading the Seminoles 10-3. And Florida with the ball at its own 23-yard line. 1st and 10. Wayne Peace sends Tyrone Young in motion. And keeps. And gets to the 26-yard line. And Borowski is there again, number 53.
Sometimes that little play will just pop out of there. It's a delay sneak. You see, Peace will step to his left and let the linebackers flow and then try to pop through a hole before they can recover. But the Seminoles were up to it.
second down 7. Florida from the 26-yard line. Less than 8 minutes to go in the half. Gators ahead, 10-3. Brown in motion. Peace pitching to Jones this time. Skirting the sideline and out of bounds near the 30-yard line. Flag is down at the 24.
There's a flag on the flag.
So a penalty marker is down. By the way, we get a report now. Sam Platt has not been in for the last 2 series. He has a shoulder injury, and the report from the Seminole bench is that it's doubtful that Platt will return today. So their leading ground gainer, a man who carried 9 times early for 29 yards and had hoped to go over 1,000 today, is probably on the shelf for the rest of the afternoon as you see the penalty marks off against Florida.
Illegal procedure on the wide. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. You know, Al, all he needed was 46 yards, Sam Platt, to hit the 1,000-yard mark, and 166 yards to be the leading ground gainer ever in the history of Florida State. It's really too bad.
Second down 13 from the 20-yard line. Peace pitching it to Jones, and he gets out to the 27. Gary Futch and Bobby Butler converging on the tackle.
Florida's having success with the option play both ways, down the line option. Peace comes down the line and is doing a good job. He waits till the last minute, deals it off, and they've made positive yards on it.
The Gators, ranking second in the conference this year, going through the air. Now Peace with 3rd and a long 5 coming up. Wants to take a timeout. That's the second spent by Florida in the half with 7:09 to go. The score, the Gators 10 and the Seminoles 3.
Now comes Miller time. The flag is dropped, the race is a memory. And now you're coasting into the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
If you got the time, if you got the time, we've got the beer. If you got the time.
Cellini Cologne for the man who loves life. Cellini Cologne for men, created in Italy by Fabergé.
The American Football Coaches Association endorses ethical recruiting standards. The AFCA supports the student-athlete seeking academic and athletic information, trying to improve the college selection process. Join its efforts by becoming fully informed. It's important to you.
Doak Campbell Stadium, Tallahassee, Florida. Packed, 53,000 looking on. Florida with 3rd down and 5 at its own 28-yard line. John L. Brown goes in motion. Peace pitching it to Jones. Jones looking for the 1st down and gets it to the 34-yard line. Herring and Bonasort converging on the tackle.
I tell you, Tyrone Young made a very fine block to allow that to become a 1st down. He was split out to the side and he comes right down the field and makes an excellent block. Here's Scott, number 54, playing the option. He's responsible for the quarterback. Look at him hit Peace right here, but not before he peels the ball off. But Tyrone Young made a great block to create the 1st down.
1st down, Gators at the 34. Jones again, and he gets to the 45. And Young laying down another block as Bonasort made the tackle. That'll be another 1st down as Jones gets a little more than 10.
I tell you, Jones is a good-sized youngster, 6'2", 223, and he gets a head of steam up. He can punish you. Well, certainly the Gators have come in here with a much improved running game from a week ago.
Florida has not thrown a pass in this quarter. Peace has thrown 9 today, all in the 1st period. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. John L. Brown gets to midfield.
John L. Brown, number 14.
You've got to keep in mind also that Florida is doing this against the #1 defensive team in the country. Of course, they've already gained 188 yards against this Florida team, and 193 now with that last play. And Florida State was only giving up about 200 yards a game.
Coming into this game, only 3 times this season has the opposition gone into double figures against Florida State. Miami got 10, Nebraska scored 14, and Pitt 22, with the Cornhuskers and Panthers both losing. Second down, 5 from midfield. Peace pitching it back, and back at the 48-yard line, Gary Futch and Ron Simmons converging to stop Calvin Davis, number 33, on his first carry of the day.
Well, as you see here, Florida 18 points or less to win the NCAA scoring defensive title, and they've already given up 10, and have given up 193 yards. You know what we said at the top of the show when we started to talk about it, that their pride was wounded last week against Miami, a traditional rivalry, and they generally bounce back. A winning team generally will bounce back and play well the next game, and certainly it's evidenced here thus far in the first half.
No doubt, with 5 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the half. Third down, 7 from the Gator 48-yard line. And a flag goes down. Delay of the game. That'll cost them 5. Florida, multiple formations, and they signal in the plays, so you're prone occasionally to a delay.
The offense, third down. A combination of the open formations and motion and substitutions of the personnel, you're pressing that 25-second clock.
Spotted at the 44. Third down, a tad more than 11. Peace going back to Young over the middle. He's got it at the 38 and a first down. Bonasort making the tackle.
Beautiful execution by Peace. Came down the line like he was going to run an option to the wide side of the field and turn, and of course Tyrone Young was wide open as a result. Here's Young isolated. He comes down. Everybody thinks it's going to be a run. Now you can see he's away from James Harris, and here's the ball with no one between Young and the ball.
First down, Gators at the 37-yard line. John L. Brown slipping and sliding and getting to the 31-yard line.
Brown, number 14.
Kurowski in on the stop.
Well, this certainly is a surprise the way they were able to move the ball on the ground against this top defensive team.
Especially so in light of the fact they have not used this basic offense in over a month. It's been solely a passing attack since the Georgia game. Second down, 3 from the 31. They give it to Brown again. And Brown gets to about the 27. Very close to a first down. Motzig making the tackle. John L. Brown, number 14. Good running back, though he would be listed as second team, at least coming into the game.
And another converted quarterback.
Yep. Everybody, it seems, on the Florida roster played quarterback at one time or another.
There's some great athletes out of high school that play quarterback and fullback, I'll tell you.
After the measurement, it's a first down for Florida. The Gators at the Seminole 27-yard line. Florida, about a 2-touchdown underdog, leading 10-3 with 3:40 to go in the half. To the 23-yard line goes Brown.
Whatever happened here.
John L. Brown hasn't been playing a whole lot for Florida. Miami recruited John L. They were concerned about him last week, though he figured almost not at all if the scheme of things has worked out.
Willard Marshall was down there. They got tangled up with one of the defensive backs, and I thought there might be a big penalty, but the official just broke it up and sent him back to the huddle.
Second down and 7 from the 24-yard line. Brown gets to about the 20.
John L. Brown, the ball carrier.
Shy of the first by close to 3. It'll be third down and 3 at the 20. Clock running with 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining
Reggie Herring, number 39.
in the first half.
Third and 2.
short as Doug Kellum is stopped at the 19-yard line. They need to move it almost to the 17, so it'll be 4th down and a little less than 2 coming up for the Gators.
Well, I would be inclined with a 10-point lead to, well, I think he's going to go for the field goal here, or this would be an excellent spot for a gadget play off the field goal, or an excellent place to go ahead and take the risk to go for the touchdown. Because when there's 13 points on the board, you know, 2 touchdowns, of course, and the extra points will beat you. But they're only, let's see, 10-3 right now, 7-point lead, and they're going to go for the 10-point lead.
36-yard field goal attempt is spotted at the 26-yard line, and the kick is good. So Brian Clark has been perfect today. 1 extra point, 2 field goals, and with 1:46 to play in the first half in Tallahassee, Florida leading Florida State 13-3.
Miss Cole's big trouble. What'd you get me?
Well, you've been sniffling, sneezing in your head, Stuffy. So I got you some time capsules.
But I'm also coughing, aching, feverish. And tonight, I gotta rest.
I was supposed to get a sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine?
That's NyQuil. Relieves everything these capsules do, plus other symptoms they don't.
NyQuil.
I need some.
I'll get some.
NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine.
What's Texaco doing in a field of corn? Not growing it. Texaco's making gasohol. It's a mixture of 90% Texaco unleaded gasoline and 10% ethanol made from renewable crops like corn. Gasohol can't replace gasoline, but it can help stretch our available supply. And Texaco's selling gasohol in a number of states right now. Gasohol, one of the ways Texaco is working to keep your trust.
The bowl games on ABC. December 27th, the Liberty Bowl. December 29th, the Gator Bowl. January 1st, the top 2 teams in the nation meet head-on for a possible national championship. Georgia and Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. Live on ABC.
Brian Clark will kick off for the Florida Gators. He has just given the Gators a 10-point advantage. Larry Harris is back deep for Florida State. An angled kick is fielded at the 17-yard line by Ken Burnett. Burnett out to the 27, and the Seminoles will take over there. Florida, total offense with 228 yards already today, exceeding the total yardage, the average yardage given up by Florida State per game all season.
Well, that speaks for the effectiveness of the Gators just in this first 30 minutes or less than 30 minutes of this game.
First down State from the 27-yard line. Stockstill rolling and keeping, and gets out to the 34-yard line with 1:33 to go in the half. And Florida State with 2 timeouts remaining in the half.
Well, the Seminoles came in as a 14-point favorite, and you look at the yardage, Florida has 229 and 84 yards for the Seminoles.
On second down, they pitch it to Williams, and he's bottled up at the 34-yard line by David Little, number 51. Under a minute now to play in the half.
All-American football player, the #1 tackler on this Florida Gator team. You see him filling and flowing with the pitch sweep, which is one of the favorite plays. And you see he just turns off, just throws off number 27, Mike Whiting, and goes right through him and makes the play. Great defensive work.
Third down and 2, 39 seconds to go in the half. Stockstill rolling. He'll keep looking for the first down, and I think he has it. They'll spot it at the 38-yard line. He does. Fernando Jackson running him down there, and the clock momentarily stopped with 28 seconds to play in the half. So State with 2 timeouts at their disposal, but not running what you'd call your basic 2-minute offense, Era.
Well, I think that he feels that he's deep in his own territory. I don't think he wants anything more to happen than has already happened. I think probably out here at the 38 or 39-yard line, he'll take some chance, although the clock is running again. I guess he's going to go in there and talk to them at halftime. I'll guarantee you they'll get an earful.
They didn't go out of bounds on the last play, so the clock running as Stockstill is now going deep, but there's a lot of coverage back there, and it's tipped and intercepted by Vito McKeever again. His second, As Groves tipped it, McKeever came up with the intercept, and the Gators get it back at the 32-yard line.
Well, I think it was a good call. It was an out and up pattern, and with the idea of maybe something will happen if they just throw it deep downfield. The clock is running out on you. You'll see here that he just runs an out and up. Number 22, Hardis Johnson, and Bruce Vaughn was on him there. Groves comes in here and deflects the ball, and McKeever steps in and intercepts it right there. Good defense.
Florida gets it back, but only 8 seconds remain in the first half, and they'll be content to run out the clock. And any resemblance between the Florida team many of you saw last week against Miami and the team you're seeing here today is purely incidental. What a half for the Gators. So it's halftime at Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. Florida leading Florida State 13-3. Our halftime activities coming up after this message about an upcoming show on ABC and a word from our local station.
Moments in the making. The challenge of the 80s is excellence, and you'll find it on ABC Sports, the leader in sports television.
Start of the second half at Tallahassee. Our halftime score 13-3 Florida. Florida State will be receiving to start the second half. Brian Clark will kick off. Larry Harris back deep for Florida State at the goal line. So the Gators ahead by 10 with Clark putting it in the air. And Harris taking it out past the 15 and buried in the 17-yard line. Seminoles beginning deep in their own territory from the 17, and again they are minus Sam Platt. Their top ground gainer, he went out early with a shoulder injury, not expected to return. Platt had carried 9 times for 29 yards, so you've got Stockstill, and you can forget Platt for the time being. You've got Ricky Williams at one running back spot. And there are the men up front for Florida State. Childers, the tight end. They put Childers this time in the slot on first down and pitch it back to Williams out past the 20 to the 24-yard line. Hey, Rod! Gain of about 6. Second down and 4. Up front now you've got Tim Golden, the senior at 6'1", 224 for Florida. Galloway for Brandon. Fisher put a lot of pressure on Stockstill in the first half. They tell us Doc Lucky really does bench press 600 pounds. And Val Brown, just a sophomore from Gainesville, home of the University of Florida. Second down 4. Seminoles at their own 24-yard line. Johnson goes in motion, and Williams with a pitch to the short side of the field, and run out of bounds at the 29-yard line by David Little, picking up a first down. There is Little, a close-up of Dave, Larry's brother, Fernando Jackson, sophomore, done his great job this year. Vaughn, the cornerback. McKeever with 2 interceptions in the first half of the 36. Kyle Knight is the rover. And Tony Lilly getting the start at free safety, though Tim Groves does see quite a bit of action, but Groves has been hurt. First and 10, Florida State from its own 29-yard line. Williams hurdles out to the 37, and David Little makes the tackle. So a lot of pressure now on that man, number 44, Ricky Williams, a sophomore from Griffin, Georgia. The man who will have to fill in for Sam Platt.
Well, he's responding well in the opening drive here this second half, and the crowd is all excited. They're starting to pump up everybody. Let's see if it helps the offensive team of the Florida State Seminoles.
Second down, 3 from the 36-yard line. Williams again. Slithering out to the 41 for a first down. Wiggerman and Fernando Jackson taking the stop. So Williams has now carried 8 times for 33 yards.
The same pitch sweep every play thus far. Going back to the fundamentals, they probably said, blocking and tackling.
Timeout is now called by the Gators. They take a timeout, and they spend it with only a minute 44 gone in the third quarter. So early in the third, Florida 13 and Florida State 3.
Oh, you want a show-stopping looker.
Right. Chevy Camaro.
You'd like a road-hugging cooker.
Yeah. Chevy Camaro.
You know what's coming down.
What?
Cost ever rising, refueling blues. You need a 20 MPGer.
Huh? Chevy Camaro.
A fuel-sipping D6 with manual trans.
Chevy Camaro.
The 20 MPG Hugger is making performance affordable.
Welcome to Sears Home Entertainment Sale. Big savings on selected stereos, TVs, and more. Save $100 on this video recorder with high-speed beta scan. Save $70 on this color TV with reliable electronic tuning, one-button color, and touch and tune, just $399.95. Save $50 on this AM/FM stereo system, now only $169.95, with record changer, 2 speakers, both cassette and 8-track. Now at Sears, where America shops for value.
Early in the third quarter, Florida State moving with the second half kickoff. They're at their own 41-yard line. First and 10. The Gators leading 13-3. Stockstill asking for quiet. The crowd has really responded early in this drive. And on first and 10 from the 41-yard line, Stockstill giving it to Williams with a big hole. He's to the 50, into Florida territory. First down at the 45-yard line.
Well, they're opening up some big holes in the line there. Instead of going to the sweep and let the linebackers throw, came back to the inside, and it was a big hole there for Williams. He also ran it well. Just sort of the sprint draw type of effect. He cuts it back, finds great. Look at the hole in there. Beautiful hole. And, of course, Williams is running hard, spins off this tackler, and reaches for another 2 or 3 yards.
Ricky picking up 14. It's first and 10 from the 45-yard line. And Stockstill runs into Williams this time, and he still turns it into a 3-yard gain.
Ricky Williams, 44, the ball carrier.
Could have been a negative 6 or 7 yards, and Williams got some yardage out of it. The mix-up back there, they just weren't coordinated at the exchange point.
Second down.
Spot is the 43-yard line.
Called it 8. At the 43-yard line. Williams averaging just a tick under 5 yards per carry. He's carried the ball now 6 straight times. And on second down, he won't carry this time off the play fake. Stockstill with a man open at the 30-yard line. It's Hardis Johnson. David Little providing the coverage and making the tackle.
Well, I was impressed with the way Stockstill threw that ball, but here's Hardis Johnson coming down the field. It was a good fake, a draw fake to the inside that held the linebackers, and as a result, there was no coverage between Hardis Johnson and the ball. It was beautifully done. You see Little finally getting back here. McKeever misses a tackle, but well-executed play.
First down, Florida State at the Florida 31-yard line. Stockstill on a roll, throwing complete to the 19-yard line, and out of bounds. Again, it's Hardis Johnson, number 22. Bruce Vaughn was covering.
Great timing on the play. Stockstill waited until he was open. Here's a look at it. He rolls out. Now watch him. There's a good block thrown in here to get him to the corner. He waits. He has plenty of time. Finally, Johnson makes his move, and he throws it right on the target there. Well executed.
And he's close to a first down. They're going to measure. They bring the chains in from the other side of the field. And they do have the first down. So the Seminoles coming out hot in the second half. Johnson, his figures through the 1980 season, averaging over 18 yards per reception. That would be tops on the club. Ball at the 20. First and 10. Williams. No room this time. And stopped at the 22-yard line by Robin Fisher, number 66.
Fisher got a lot of penetration that time, and before Williams could get started, why, they nailed it for about a yard and a half, 2-yard loss.
Second down and 12. Rick Stockstill through the air today, 5 out of 11 for 56 yards. Second and 12 at the 22. Early third quarter. Florida State trailing 13-3. sparingly used today. Val Brown made the stop. Of course, Whiting had the ankle injury. So 4 weeks off helps him. They're minus flat right now. And you wonder about Whiting in light of the fact, Darren, that Bowden has used him infrequently, as the Seminoles have an injured player. That's Lee Adams, number 63, the guard. Eric Ryan going in to replace him.
Well, Ryan's not a little fella. He's 6'4", 255. But getting back to your point, it could very well be that Whiting's ankle may be a little bit of a problem because he hasn't had the ball very often this afternoon.
So the right guard, Lee Adams, on the bench at the 19-yard line. 3rd down and 9. Stockstill with a lot of time, throwing over the middle, and touchdown. He got in. Artis Johnson, number 22, giving the Seminoles 6. So a drive that combines both a good running attack with Williams handling most of the load early, and then Stockstill and Johnson combining late. And the Seminoles are down 13-9, going on 10 here with Capice to try to point after out of the hold of Unglob, and the kick is good. And there's also a penalty marker down. Flag down on the extra point attempt. Apparently it's going to go against Florida.
Looked like roughing the kicker.
Bruce Vaughn came in hard. And of course, you don't take anything for granted here. Not that they necessarily might think about going to, but still they're up.
Roughing the kicker on the defense. We'll penalize on the kickoff. The point's good.
All right, there it is, straight from the referee, Paul Schmidt. 10-12 to go, 3rd quarter in Tallahassee. Florida leading Florida State 13-10.
You know, I love the fresh, clean smell of barley because I can almost taste the Schlitz beer I'm going to make from it. I'm Frank Sellinger. Recently, I came to Schlitz as chief executive. Mostly, I check on the business end. But after 40 years as a master brewer, I check the barley, too, and the other fine grains to make a really smooth beer. Taste my Schlitz.
As I've been saying, that's only my broker's opinion. What does your broker think?
My broker's E.F. Hutton. And E.F. Hutton says...
When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
Take a look now at the penalty. You'll see the roughing the kicker call, with Capice attempting the point after, which was successful, but he pays a bit of a price here.
Number 47, Bruce Vaughn, right there. Goes into him and roughs the kicker. It'll be assessed here on the kickoff and probably sets up a little onside kick possibility here.
He also got some of the holder there, too, Unglob. So the penalty, moving the ball to the 45-yard line, and the kickoff, a fair catch is called and made at the 15-yard line by Tim Groves of Florida.
Here's a look at the touchdown that Artis Johnson, you see, comes right down the field and breaks to the post. But what I was impressed by, beyond the route and the reception, was Stockstill staying right in there and delivering the ball just perfectly. It's led perfectly where the receiver Johnson can get it for the touchdown, and a well-executed drive and certainly a touchdown pass.
Gators now from their own 15-yard line. Florida most impressive offensively in the first half. Send Kellum in motion. Wayne Peace on a short drop. Throwing, it's tipped, intercepted, flag is thrown at the 30-yard line. That's Reggie Herring. Getting it back to the 14. Reggie Herring with the interception. Let's see what the call is. Tyrone Young is injured on the play. He is down to the 25.
No, it's against the Seminoles.
It's against Florida State. They get a victory in that department, but perhaps a severe loss here, as that is Young who gets the attention. Tyrone Young shaken up, but the penalty going against Florida State.
Let's see what happens on this play. Peace comes back and just throws a quick little look in right there. Now we're out of the picture there. We can't quite see what happened to Tyrone. And Herring picks it off.
Young, meanwhile, is up and leaving the field under his own power.
Well, let's see if we can see from another angle here. There's Harris bumping him right there. Oh, there it is right there. Number 50, was Kurowski, 53, I think, hit him.
So instead of the interception, the penalty moves it out to the 22. Florida maintains possession, 1st and 10. Peace gets out to the 25. Modsick, number 67, making the tackle. And there is Young. Tyrone leaving under his own power. Trying to get a report as to his future status.
He really struck a forearm in the head there. It could have been called unnecessary roughness.
They've got Spencer Jackson in to replace him and split Jackson to the right on 2nd down, 7 from the 25-yard line. Peace on the option. Back to Jones, but it's read beautifully by Jarvis Corsi, number 64.
Boy, they're really pumped up. Kersey comes across. This is the same play in the first half, the option play. Peace coming down the line that they have executed so well. Look at Kersey come to the outside. Faulkner tries to block him, but here he is to the outside. Peace pitches it, and here he does the job. Whew. Same play that they ran successfully in the first half.
Got him back at the 19. It's 3rd down, 14 from the 19-yard line. 8:50 to go, 3rd quarter. Florida leading by 3. 3rd and long. Peace looking for Jackson, and he's lucky it wasn't intercepted. The pass was high, and Bonasorte had it in his hands and couldn't hold on.
He sure did. He would just add it on to the interception record that he has. Went right through his hands.
Bonasorte has 15 interceptions in his career. So the Seminoles hold. The Gators to kick. Mark Dickert with his 2nd punt of the day. Gary Henry, single safety for Florida State, standing in his own 40-yard line. Dicker's kick is away. It's a wobbly kick and not much distance. Bouncing, but taking a great Florida bounce. And it's going to roll more than 25 yards. It rolls, in fact, 29 yards. It bounced that far. 8:25 to go. The kick that time, 55 yards with the bounce. Florida by 3.
Sony introduces the art of watching television. The Sony Betamax lets you record and see what you want when you want, to summon into your home a world of wonder. And a remarkable feature called Betascan lets you scan forward and reverse to quickly find any single image. Betamax transforms the act of watching television into the art of watching television.
Your show is about to begin.
Sony, the one and only.
People come in here and ask for plugs for Japanese cars. And I tell them there's a spark plug designed to get the most out of small 4-cylinder engines. It's got a fused glass seal in here, so you get full power and a remarkably wide heat range. Helps prevent stalling and misfiring. Then I tell them something else remarkable about this plug. It's not Japanese, it's American. Autolite.
The Southeastern Conference appreciates the excellence of ABC TV's telecast of NCAA college football each week and is honored to participate. Today, SEC charter member Florida engages Florida State in a rivalry 23 years old, but with the on-field intensity of 100 years.
Florida State has the ball at its own 26-yard line. That last kick by Dickert, 26 yards on the fly and 29 on the bounce.
Really a favoring bounce for the Gators.
55-yard effort. So from the 26-yard line, it's Ricky Williams going nowhere. Pushed back. His progress took him to about the 25. He lost one, and Fernando Jackson drove him back, number 49.
Jackson put a good hit on him there. They closed that hole. That's the same play they've been running successfully, but Florida shut it off that time.
Second down, call it 12. Just shy of the 25-yard line. Stockstill completing 50% of his passes today. Out to the 27, Ricky Williams, stopped by David Galloway.
Just over the 25-yard line. Again, the tackle
close to the original line of scrimmage, and setting up third down and 10. 7 minutes, 30 seconds remaining, third quarter. The Florida Gators leading 13-10. Stockstill throwing complete to Williams at the 30. Williams looking for the first down, and I think he's got it. Out to the 38-yard line. With a good effort, Bruce Vaughn made the tackle.
Boy, that really was a second effort to get the first down. He's got good speed, but he knew where those markers were. There was another delay again. You see Stockstill goes back. Now he's kind of flushed. I don't know whether they're trying to screen here. He runs out to the right and finally dumps it off. Fisher put pressure on him. Here he is with the football. Ricky Williams. Now watch him. This second effort to get the first down. He heads upfield right there. He knows he's got to get up to that line and gets the first down. A real fine piece of running.
First and 10, Florida State at its own 38-yard line. The fullback, Whiting, to the 41 and gang tackle.
It sure was. It looked like the whole Florida team on it.
Mike Whiting picking up 3. Florida State trying to move again. A very impressive drive. The top scoring offenses, there they are. Brigham Young, of course, led by McMahon and the Cornhuskers, Nevada, Las Vegas, and the great quarterback Gentry. You've got Oklahoma, so you'll have the 4 and 5 teams in terms of total offense in the Orange Bowl. Stockstill going to keep it and getting out to the 49, and a flag is thrown.
Called it on Whiting, I think.
Mike Whiting involved in the play, trying to block and perhaps the clip. So Stockstill with what would be, without the penalty, a first down, and instead the clip. Mike Whiting, number 27, taking the defender from behind and costing Florida State a first down.
Big penalty because they had a first down there. Going back to that scoring average we were talking about, you know, the yardage offensively that Florida State has made.
Flipping on the offense. Second down.
Was not necessarily a total contribution of the offensive unit. It was the great defense.
Exactly.
And the defense failed in the first half, and Florida made 220-some yards. And, of course, that was the difference.
Second down, 18 from the 31-yard line. Ricky Williams gets back about 6 of the 18. It'll be third down and 11. Tony Lilly and David Little making the stop. Clock is running with 5.5 minutes to play in the third quarter.
Coming into the nickel defense, anticipating the passing situation.
Williams filling in for the injured Sam Platt. Hardis Johnson has just come in with a play from the bench. He is split wide to the right. Kurt Unglav is wide to the left. On third and 11. Stockstill with a straight drop. Good protection. Throwing to Williams out at the 42-yard line and wrestled down there. So he's shy of the first by 6. And Stark will come in to punt for the Seminoles. So the drive bogging down because of the penalty after they had what would have been a first down. But the clip on Whiting, and Stark is in to kick it away.
The Gators were also assisted by that favorable roll of 29 yards on the punt. You know, one of the reasons for that was that Florida State was deployed for a rush and there was no one back to field it outside that safety.
Ron Stark to boot it away. Curry fielding on the run at the 18-yard line. Splits the defense and then is tackled at the 23. 40-yard kick and a 5-yard run back with 4:17 to go in the third quarter. After this one, stay tuned. From the Los Angeles Coliseum, Notre Dame and USC. The Fighting Irish ranked second. SC hurt of late because of the injury situation. Marcus Allen, their great tailback, won't be able to play. But the Trojans at home against the Irish. 1st and 10 from the 23. Peace giving it to Jones, who's met immediately. Ron Simmons making the tackle. Well, Lara, I got to think your body's going to be in Florida in a couple hours, but your mind's going to be out west, isn't it?
That's exactly right. I've had the experience of being out there a few times. They weren't very favorable, not many of them anyway.
Nah, you won your share.
Not really.
Well, if you didn't have to face Anthony Davis, you'd have been in great shape.
Oh, tell me about it.
2nd down and 12 from the 21-yard line. Kellum in motion. Peace looking for Young. And incomplete. So Tyrone, after being shaken up on the last series, is back in, but covered well by Bonasort. And it will be 3rd down. Peace has completed 5 of 12 for 105 yards. Tyrone Young scoring a touchdown in the first half today. Caught 4 on the day. 3rd and 12. Peace under pressure, scrambling out of the pocket, and down he goes at the 6-yard line. James Gilbert, the backup nose guard, number 51, running him down. They moved Gilbert outside Simmons. He normally backs up Ron, but he's in there in place of Modsick.
Would you believe he's 6 foot 260 and he can move like this? Watch him, number 51, Gilbert, right here, coming right at Peace, chasing him down. Peace tries to get outside to the right, but he reaches out and gets enough of him to get him down right there. Good job.
Mark Dickert to punt. Pressure is on, gets this one away. This will go more than 26 in the air. Fielded at the 50, lost there, and then recovered at the 45 by Gary Henry. Big break for Florida State when it looked like the Gators might come up with it. Lawrence Patrick put the pressure on. 2:47 to go, 3rd quarter. Florida 13, Florida State 10.
That's Coach Johnson. He's from the college. Looks like he's worried about his problem dandruff. I wish he'd ask me.
Mr. Owens, I need a shampoo.
Ever tried Tegrin?
Can it really work on my itching and flaking?
Well, in a national survey, 3 out of 4 dermatologists judged Tegrin's medication effective in fighting even problem dandruff.
I'll give it a tryout.
Hey, how's that dandruff problem?
Tegrin's a winner, Mr. Owens.
Prove it to yourself. Tegrin works.
On 1st down for Florida State from the 45-yard line, Stockstill on a roll. Gets tackled back at the 40 by Ron Coleman for a loss of 7. So the Seminoles at their own 39-yard line with that much time remaining in the 3rd quarter. Florida led 13-3 at the half. Florida State had the early lead, 3-0.
Looked like Stockstill was limping a little bit as he went back, and I remember on that play in this previous series of downs, he was limping a little.
2nd down and 17. He's going to give it to Williams, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. And Stockstill rubbing his leg. Whitaker making the stop on the play. And there's no question about it, Stockstill a little gimpy right now. He was flexing his knees. The Florida State quarterback. There he is. Keep an eye on him.
Noticed on the previous series on the clip play where he had made the 1st down when he ran, he got up and started to limp a little bit. Now it seems like he's still being bothered by it. It'd be a real hurt to this ball club to lose him.
3rd down, 16. Florida State at the 40. Going deep for Johnson. What a catch at the 31 for the 1st down. Hardis Johnson fully stretched out.
What a catch that was. I didn't think he had a chance from this vantage point to catch that football. Watch Hardis Johnson again. Comes down the field and gets in the seam. He puts a move on, goes to the outside to the flag. Now watch him reach out for this ball. It appears to be overthrown right in the tips of the fingers, puts it away. What a catch. Official right on the scene to see it.
So on 3rd and 16, they get 28, and it's 1st and 10 at the Gator 32-yard line. State trailing by 3. Johnson in motion, and they give it to Williams, looking for room, and Williams picks up 4 to the 28. David Little makes the stop at number 51. Let's have another look at that catch by Johnson. It's worth one.
Boy, it really is. I'll tell you, he really lays out. Watch him. It right on the fingertips. He couldn't have had any more room. And then he puts it away right here, and the official is right there to see it to make sure that he has caught the football.
Final minute of the 3rd quarter. 2nd down, 6. Florida State at the Florida 28-yard line. Whiting to the 24, setting up 3rd down and 2. Doc Lucky made the stop. And that should be the final play of the 3rd quarter.
You know, I made a little note here on my report. I was talking to Charlie Pell. I said, you know, who do you fear the most on this ball club, the Seminole Ball Club? He says the most dangerous is Hardis Johnson, and he's become a prophet.
The Seminoles will not run a playoff here, so when the 4th quarter commences, it will be 3rd down and 2 at the 24-yard line. 15 minutes to play. The score, 13-10 Florida. We'll be back after this commercial message and a word from our local stations.
I may be the only man running a major brewery who is a master brewer. Have been for 40 years. I'm Frank Selinger, Chief Executive Officer of Schlitz. 2 years ago, when they asked me to come to Schlitz, they said, Frank, let's make the best. Here it is, Schlitz. Compare Schlitz with any other beer. This has the taste that I've been after for 40 years. I know you'll like it.
Hey! You're driving half a car! To prove Haviland Supreme gives cars engine protection up front.
I know, but...
Well, you should know. It delivered proven protection in punishing state trooper testing.
Yeah, but...
Where's the rest of my car?
Yeah.
Here it comes. To prove Texaco's Haviland Supreme delivered improved mileage, too. Upfront protection backed by improved mileage. That's Haviland Supreme.
Do me a favor.
I know. Prove how good Haviland is in the next county, huh?
War blew away his future, but courage brought Rocky Blyer fighting back. Robert Urich stars Sunday.
For North Florida and South Georgia, there is only one television headquarters, Southern Electric in Tallahassee, Perry, and Quincy. Courteous and fair treatment, low prices, and the widest selection in the area to choose from, including General Electric, RCA, Curtis Mathis, Zenith, and even more selection at Southern Electric Television Headquarters, where service is just as important as the sale, and that's guaranteed. For television, it's Southern Electric in Tallahassee, Perry, and now downtown Quincy.
To play the game right, you need the right equipment, and the same holds true with saving. That's why at Tallahassee Federal, we supply the equipment you need to get ahead in your financial affairs, like higher interest on your savings, a variety of optional plans to choose from, a dependable team.
4th quarter in Tallahassee. Al Michaels with Ara Parsegian, and look at that. The 4th quarter this season, Florida State has scored 89 points. They haven't given up a point. As our man Fran Tarkenton would say, that's incredible. 13-10 Florida, 3rd down 2, Florida State at the 24-yard line. Ricky Williams looking for the first down and has it. Getting to the 20 where Fernando Jackson makes the tackle.
Williams is running like a 220-pounder rather than a 170-pounder. He's slippery. He's tough to get a hold of. The sophomore from Griffin, Georgia.
We've been watching 2 different games here. Florida controls the first half totally. Florida State totally dominating in the 3rd quarter. Total offense in the 3rd quarter. Florida State picked up 147 yards. Florida had minus 21.
Oh, I think Bobby Bowden talked to him at halftime.
1st and 10. his man, Tony Lilly, in Georgia. Wide open. And State has the lead for the first time since early in the first quarter. And Hardis Johnson has now caught 7.
Well, I would have to believe that there had to be a defensive error on the part of the Gators. He was so open. It's incredible.
The Pieces extra point is good. And so the Seminoles continuing their second half surge with 14:24 to play in the game. On top, 17-13. Stockstill to Johnson.
And in that Nebraska game, I guess it was 14-3. Now they've done the same thing here. Here's Stockstill comes back. This fakes a little sprint draw to Williams. Gets good protection. Sees Johnson wide open. Nobody around him. Look at here. 51 Little is the closest guy to the linebacker. And we're going to take a look at an isolation here, what happens as he comes down the field. You see him just come right down and then breaks to the seam, and there is no safety man in there. Someone has obviously made an error because you don't get that open. All he did was run a straight pattern right up the field and put Florida State in the lead.
Hardis Johnson had caught 17 in 10 games coming in. Today he's caught 7, and the Seminoles lead by 4.
This is a modern-day giant. It does the work of yesterday's room-sized computer. Yet it's this small. A new computer on a chip from Bell Laboratories. Technology like this helps our network make home and office communications more reliable and economical. And in the future, will help transmit information services that put data and pictures at your fingertips. The Bell system, keeping your communication system the best in the world.
Next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports, championship boxing. Salvador Sanchez and Juan Laporte fight for the WBC World Featherweight title. Next Saturday on ABC.
In the fourth quarter, with 14 minutes and 24 seconds to play, Florida State, third ranked in the country, taking the lead 17-13. And the kickoff by Capice, fielded by Curry, brought out to the 20-yard line. Take an isolated look now again at Johnson on the touchdown.
It's Kyle Knight, the strong safety, number 24. He must think that he has support behind him because he ignores Hardis Johnson. And of course you can see how open he is. Either that or the safety man was lost somewhere. He is not in the picture, and it's obviously an error. But to have a team like Florida State take advantage of it right now shows the kind of abilities that they have.
Gators at their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Tyrone Young in motion. They pitch it to Tyrone. He's looking for room and doesn't find anything. Ron Simmons making the stop.
Well, this has been some kind of a second half. You can see the total offense for Florida in the first half was 228 yards. The second half, minus 23.
Second down, 11 from the 19-yard line. And they go to the 4 wideouts. Sid Young in motion, creating trips to the left. Keith throwing, and it's picked off at the 30-yard line by Keith Jones. The Seminoles are on a roll. Keith Jones with the interception.
Boy, did he do a job. Looked like it was going to be a completion. Looks like he was Nassim. Watch Jones come out of nowhere. Jump in front of the receiver right there and pick it off. The receiver is as surprised as Jones is, I think. What a piece of defensive work.
Florida State at the Gator 30-yard line. 1st and 10. FSU leading 17-13. Stockstill giving it to Williams. And stopped for no gain.
Ricky Williams, number 44.
Take another peek now at the interception by Keith Jones. Well, we won't write at the moment. Don't have it racked up, but Florida State, both offensively and defensively, a monster turnaround in the second half.
Isn't it amazing? Just amazing how the complexion of a game and the momentum can shift in it. And we've witnessed it here dramatically from the first half to the second half.
Second down and 10. And Mike Whiting is bunched up at the 31-yard line. So the Gator defense digging in. Lucky and Fisher covering.
Well, I thought possibly Florida State might take advantage of that turnover and go for a quick big one, but they have elected to stay on the ground.
Keith Jones, the man who picked off Wayne Peace's pass. Peace, by the way, has not completed a pass in the second half. 3rd and 11. Stockstill going deep for Unglav. Knocked away. Covered well. Ivory Curry, number 26, was the man who got his hand on it. Kyle Knight back there to help out.
Good coverage on the play that time.
4th down, 11, just inside the 32. So Peace comes in. This is within his range, his longest of the season, 50. This would be a 49-yard field goal for Capice. Who kicks it deep enough, but no good. Wide. So Capice missing to the left. Florida State can't capitalize on the interception. The Gators get the ball back, and on the clock we have 12:21 to play in Tallahassee. State leading 17-13.
Foreign oil. We know the consequences. Higher prices, political instability. So America is working hard to reduce our dependence by increasing the use of our own energy resources. At Westinghouse, we're using our technology to get more energy out of coal and nuclear. And we're working on solar, fusion, fuel cells, and other renewable sources to serve our children for generations. Westinghouse, a powerful part of your life.
This is my New York Life agent. How did he get so big in my eyes? When I got married, he suggested a very affordable starter policy. He really grew in my eyes. Later, the same New York Life agent gave me brilliant advice in business insurance, and he grew some more. Now it's a policy that guarantees retirement income. My New York Life agent stands 10 feet high with me. Ask your New York Life agent. He has the answers for you.
12 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the game. Florida with the ball now after the missed field goal attempt at their own 31-yard line. Florida was leading by 10 at the half, but the Seminoles dominating the third quarter and early in the fourth here, scoring twice to move out in front, 17-13. So now the Gators again, starting from the 32. You can see they have totally contained Wayne Peace and the Gator running game in addition here in the second half. 1st and 10. Ronell Brown gets 3 yards out to the 35.
Ronell Brown, number 14, carries to the 35-yard line.
One of the reasons for those statistics, Al, is simply the possession time in the third quarter. Florida State had it 11 minutes and 43 seconds. Florida 3 minutes and 17. And this is the only second opportunity I think that they had in the fourth period.
2nd down, 7. From the 35. They send the sole running back, Jones, in motion. Peace, with very little rush, throws and completes it to the 49. Ronell Brown has fallen down, makes the catch, and gets to the 45-yard line. Ronell Brown was on the ground as the ball was in the air, got up to make the catch, and gets it to the 45.
Well, this is interesting here. There were a lot of receivers on that one. This is Ronell Brown right here with Harris on him. Just comes down and turns in, falls down to one knee, comes back up and catches the ball, but the coverage was all to the wide side of the field.
1st down at the Seminole 45-yard line. Brown for a yard. 44. 2nd and 9. Mark Moczek, number 67, made the stop.
Ball at the 44-yard line.
11 minutes, 3 seconds remaining in the game. Division III championship fourth quarter. Dayton on top of Ithaca, 35-0. Division II semis. Eastern Illinois leading Northern Alabama by 11 in the third. 2nd down and 9 from the 44-yard line. Jones in motion. Looking for Young. He's open and has it at the 25-yard line. Tyrone Young was lined up as a running back that time. Bonasort made the stop, and after a slight delay, he finds Young over the middle.
See the momentum shifting again with 2 pass completions by Peace. Here's an end zone shot of him. He rolls to his left. Tyrone Young had gone right down the heart here. He finds him and delivers it right there. Boom. Gets hit, but not before he catches that ball. Bonasort gets knocked off of him there.
So the Gators trying to pull off a stunning upset. Down by 4 and moving at the state 26-yard line. John L. Brown goes in motion. Jones plowing straight ahead, getting to the 22, picking up close to 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Also see the defensive coaches, the Florida State defensive coaches signaling for the Seminoles to rotate to the field when they go into the trips over there. And they look like they're a little bit confused on a couple of those formations.
2nd down and 6. Florida at the state 23. Jones to the 20. Bobby Butler made the stop and took a shot as Jones barreled into him after a gain of close to 3.
Big down.
3rd and 4.
Big one.
9:15 to play.
Definite passing situation.
They send Young to the left, and Collinsworth, who's been silent today, to the right. 3rd down and 4. Peace under a lot of pressure. Down he goes. Arthur Scott, number 54, with maybe the defensive play of the day for Florida State.
Did he put the pressure on? He ran the potential blocker right back with him. Coming from the right side of your screen here, you'll see Peace goes back to the pocket. Watch him come. Right here, Scott just runs right by the blocker, which is Dan Fike, I believe it is, and sacks him. What a big play.
So now, Florida at least lining up to attempt a 52-yard field goal. Brian Clark from 52. The kick won't be close.
He dropped the ball. The holder dropped it momentarily. Did not have a good hold.
Mark Dickert, the holder on the play. So Florida coming up empty after that big sack. And with 8:15 to play, State still leads 17-13.
Wait till you see how good you can be with Minolta XG1.
Hey, you want to see some terrific pictures?
Depend on the automatic Minolta XG1 to give you clear, sharp pictures. It does the work. You take the credit.
Yeah,
Hey, do you want to see some terrific pictures? No.
Yeah, look.
That's lovely.
For a limited time, get an XG1 and get a $25 rebate from Minolta. See your dealer now for details.
Introducing the 1981 Chevy Malibu Sports Sedan. A solid, sensible car with a 6-passenger interior, impressive V6 mileage, a comfortable ride, plus a little something sensible cars are not ordinarily known for. Chevrolet introduces the Malibu Sports Sedan. A 4-door with a difference. A 4-door with pizzazz.
More than 50,000 young people annually participate in the National Youth Sports Program, sponsored by the NCAA and the Community Services Administration, offering the benefits of sports training, instruction, and competition to disadvantaged young people.
Tyrone Young, Florida receiver, getting a little breather on the sidelines. He's been smacked around a bit today.
Well, he's played an outstanding football game. He's done it all. Caught passes, threw pass, ran the ball.
There is Arthur Scott, happy man, he should be. Turned in a great play on the sack on a key 3rd and short for Florida. So Florida State gets it back at its own 35-yard line. 8 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the game. Williams stopped at the line of scrimmage. Good play by Galloway, David number 85, a junior out of Brandon, Florida. Stopping him for no gain, maybe a minimal loss. Florida State leading 17-13.
34-yard line.
you don't get the perspective from this vantage point that Galloway, who made the tackle, is 6'3", about 265. Don't look that big, but they are.
On 2nd and 11, Stockstill throwing to the 50-yard line and staying in bounds and making the catch is Johnson. Artis Johnson having the game of his career.
Done most of it all in the second half. The same play that they ran. Well, here's another look at the play. He just comes down. The Stockstill just coming to the corner, getting outside to contain, runs a quick little turn out there at the 50, jumps high to get the ball, but it's all going to be nullified out of here.
Flag on the play at the 34-yard line. You see it there. And they will march it off against FSU. And it'll be a big one for holding, I believe. We'll get the call in a moment. So Johnson on his, what would have been his 7th catch of the day, or he has caught 7. That would have been number 8. Nullified.
Holding on the offense. Second down.
Second down, and that moves it all the way back to the 20-yard line.
There are 25 yards
to go. Follow their normal conservative pattern, not giving anything away. I would guess that they would run the football here and not get too fancy.
2nd and 25, they're going to do it. Williams gets some room, picks up about 12 of the needed yards as he gets to the 32-yard line. David Little making the tackle, number 51. Clock running with 7:20 to play.
You got a great weapon like Ron Stark, your punter. You don't want to give anything away cheap down deep in your own territory, particularly when you're leading 17-13.
3rd down and 13. They send Johnson wide to the right. Stockstill for Whiting at the 25 and back out to the 31, so they lose yardage on the play. Loss of 1 is Fernando Jackson makes
Michael
the stop.
Whiting, complete.
And State to kick it.
Bruce Vaughn, number 40.
Top 10 again, worth another look coming in today. Georgia on top and Notre Dame. And then Florida State. And again, as we mentioned at the very open of the telecast today, if they get the right Quinella, they could win the national championship. Let's say Georgia gets beat in the Sugar Bowl. Let's say SC beats Notre Dame. Let's say Florida State wins today, and then they beat Oklahoma in the Orange. They could be the national champs. Start to kick it. Curry fielding at the 34 and dropped at the 35-yard line. So the Gators getting it back with time running out after a 34-yard kick. We have 6:11 to play in Tallahassee. Florida State 17, Florida 13.
Hey, world, who do you take traveling? MasterCard and me. Who do you take shopping?
MasterCard and me.
Who do you take to dinner?
MasterCard and me.
And me.
MasterCard and me. We can do it all.
MasterCard's the only credit card I really need. Anywhere.
MasterCard and me, we can do it all.
JCPenney's incredible MCS Series 35-watt receiver, 3-way bass reflex speakers, and belt drive turntable. One sound will tell you all you need to know about their specs. One look will show you what a great buy they are at $729.80. But look again. Right now, these incredible components are on sale for an unbelievable $499. JCPenney's MCS Series 35-watt system sale. The value is crystal clear.
The bowl games on ABC. December 27th, the Liberty Bowl. December 29th, the Gator Bowl. January 1st, the top 2 teams in the nation meet head-on for a possible national championship. Georgia and Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. Live on ABC.
With 6 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in Tallahassee, Al Michaels and Ara Parseghian with you. Florida State leading Florida 17-13, but the Gators have the ball at their own 35-yard line as they begin this drive. Wayne Peace, the freshman quarterback. Kellerman Jones are the running backs. Peace going to the air. A flag is down. After faking, he's going deep, and it's incomplete and nearly intercepted, intended for Young. Mark Bonasort got a hand on it, number 42, but let's check the penalty. It's going to be against Florida. Illegal procedure.
imagine they take the down.
That would make it 2nd and 10 instead of 1st and 15. Checking it out with Ron Simmons.
Illegal motion against the offense. Decline. 2nd down.
Motion call on Jones, 30. The running back, and decline. 2nd down, 10. 6:05 to play. Gators trying to pull off a stunning upset.
Well, and they also try to hit a home run right off the bat there. Instead of possessioning it down the field, touchdown puts them ahead.
2nd down and 10. Peace looking for Young. And Tyrone at 6'6" couldn't handle that one. Close, but no completion. Bonassort made the shot. You know, all day long we haven't heard very much about Collinsworth, and a good part of the reason is the job that Butler is doing on him. Bobby, number 21, the defensive back of Florida State, but let's give a lot of credit to Mr. Butler. It's the type of situation where when you don't hear somebody's name, he oftentimes is doing some job, and that man is today. Collinsworth has been no factor in this game.
Exactly right.
3rd down and 10 at the 35-yard line. Jones in motion. Peace looking for Collinsworth now, and can't handle it, but we've got a flag, so we may have a penalty. Keith Jones covering that time. The corner, Butler up on him, and then as Collinsworth slanted over the middle, you can see the call is going to go against the Seminoles.
Let's see if we can transfer from the before. I thought it was okay. It looked like that he had hit the ball and shook the ball loose from him, but sometimes it's you get an unusual dimension from here. Chris Collinsworth, who we were just talking about, caught 8 passes last week. Here's Jones right there. I believe he did make contact with him before he got the ball.
So at the 45, it's a 1st down. And Kellum gets it out to the 48-yard line. Porowski, that was Jones rather. Porowski making the tackle.
At the 47-yard line.
Take another look at him right here. Number 53, Porowski, filling into the hole, stepping in from the backside linebacker. Weak side linebacker comes in and does a nice job.
It is 2nd and 3.
Florida's done well on their 3rd down plays to keep possession.
It's 2nd down and 7 at the 48-yard line. They send Jones in motion, leaving no running backs. Peace under pressure, throwing low and caught at the 46-yard line by Faulkner. Nice play. Faulkner going to the turf to grab it. They're short of the 1st down by 1.
Took that right off the ground. A low liner, as they say.
So 3rd and 1, 4 minutes and 55 seconds, and the clock running.
That is 3rd and 1.
Collinsworth split left and Young to the right. Peace is 9 out of 19 now for 159 yards. On 3rd and 1. Motion on the left side of the line. Peace tries to move ahead for the 1st down, but it looked like the left side of the Florida line was moving. We've got 3 flags, so it was an obvious infraction.
A tough penalty, too.
And here's the call against Florida. We'll see it on the replay. He's on the right side of the screen, the Florida left guard.
65, Dan Plunk. Just jumped before the snap count. A very costly penalty. Illegal procedure on the offense. 3rd down.
So instead of 3rd and 1, it's 3rd and 6. 4:39 remaining in the game. Florida with the ball and trailing by 4. From the Gator 49. Peace for Collinsworth, and he picks up a key 1st down. So Collinsworth, who had come up totally empty today until the pass interference call, now catches this one, and Florida has a big 1st down at the 40-yard line.
Well, it's the same play that they've been throwing to Tyrone Young, but it's the opposite side for Collinsworth. He just comes right down the field and just breaks to the inside against with the double coverage deep, and he's wide open in here. And he picks up that 1st down, so the penalty wasn't that important.
Gators at the Seminole 40. Peace. Looking for Collinsworth again, but knocked down. Now we're batted, and is it intercepted? Yes! What a play on a tip. Keith Jones getting it after Bonasart had tipped it.
Boy, that was quick thinking by Bonasart. Terrific defensive play. You see here Collinsworth going right down the heart. Peace flagged him. Now watch Bonasart come up here, jump up and tip the ball, and then Keith Jones make the play. Right here, he bats it back towards Jones. A terrific play and reactions on his part. He could see that Jones was coming, and it was a great interception right off the ground there. Terrific play.
The only way you practice that one is in volleyball. First down from the 8. Johnson in motion. Whiting trying to chew up some yardage and a bit of the clock, and fumbles at the 16-yard line. Are they going to whistle it dead or what? Let's see.
Now they whistled it dead.
Yep, that's the call at the 16-yard line. He was down. Val Brown had recovered the fumble, but after the play had ended. Gain of 8.
Here it is, Whiting right here just on an off-tackle play. Runs it well. Let's see when the ball comes out. We'll lose him momentarily. I don't know. That's a quick one.
David Little got on top of him. Break for the Seminoles. 3:17 to go in the game. And again, it's Whiting trying to get the first down, and he's close. They need to go to the 18.5. We're going to check out another angle now on this fumble and see indeed if it was or not.
The ball comes out to his left, to Whiting's left. Here he's running up there. It should be right between the official and ourselves, right? There, you see it come out? Well, it's just as he's hitting the ground. And it's one of those judgment calls that could have been gone either way. We've seen them called both ways.
If you're an official, how do you call that?
Depends on what color jersey I'm in.
Make you Secretary of State.
On the 19-yard line, 1st and 10.
1st and 10 as they picked up the first down, and the clock running with 2:58 left in the game. Johnson in motion. Same play. Whiting off the left side this time. Out to the 21. Fernando Jackson makes the stop, and the clock running 2:38, 2:37 and counting down. Now they stop it because Florida wants a timeout.
By Fernando Jackson, number 49.
Yep, they have one remaining.
Timeout.
2:35 remaining in the game. When we come back, it'll be 2nd down and 7 from the 22-yard line. Florida State leading 17-13.
Michelob brings you the 7-day weekend, all America style. Americans love weekends, not just the Saturday and Sunday kind, but whenever we take time to enjoy the good things in life, like the smooth and mellow taste of Michelob. Because all over America, Michelob helps make any time feel a little like a weekend.
Hey, put a little weekend in your week.
Yeah.
Sugar Ray Leonard, from gold medalist to world champion. Roberto Duran, he took the title from Sugar Ray. The rematch, one of the most controversial in boxing. See it for yourself December 19th on ABC.
Keep it in mind, that's a week from this coming Friday. Leonard Duran in its entirety at 9 Eastern, 8 Central Time. You'll see it, the controversial ending in all. Leonard and Duran on the 19th. 2nd down, 7 at the 21-yard line. Florida State trying to chew up some of the clock, and it's Williams finding no room and getting getting just about back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. The clock running with 2:25 left in the game. Florida has one timeout left, and they will not take it here. But what they have to do here, obviously, is stop the Seminoles on this play.
Now, they don't want to waste that timeout yet, but Florida State will be able to bleed a lot of time off that clock with a run and then a punt and even a 5-yarder penalty if they want to take the full 25 seconds.
3rd down and 8. Stockstill looking for the first down. And Stockstill goes down at the 23-yard line, so the defense does its job. Sonny Gilliam was there to prevent any further advance out of the 24-yard line. So 4th down, clock still running, 1:45 remaining in the game. And now they stop it. Florida will take its sole remaining timeout here. So when they get the ball back on offense, they do not have a timeout left. 1:42 on the clock. And of course, when Florida State kicks, we're looking at one of the top punters in the country in Stark. Coming up next, following this one, our Prudential College scoreboard, and then the second half of our doubleheader, the Fighting Irish and the Trojans at the Los Angeles Coliseum, the renewal of one of college football's truly classic rivalries. How many years you coached in that game? What, 11 years?
I think you've got that right.
And
you keep reminding me about that ball game out there.
No. You pulled off one victory, 51-0, right? Early in your career.
Yes.
And then you paid for it,
I know what's coming now. I wasn't going to let you lead me into that.
Well,
but you did, and I have to accept the fact that that is very true. The Trojans did a number on me.
SC and Notre Dame coming up. All right, start the kick now.
Number 3 is in kicking position.
Back deep. Ivory Curry for Florida at his own 35-yard line. Good snap. And Stark's kick will be fielded by Curry at the 39-yard line, out past the 40, and wrapped up at the 45-yard line. So with no timeouts left, a 38-yard kick, 129, as you look at Stockstill, 129 remaining in the game, and Florida State leading 17-13.
There's plenty of time on that clock. A team that throws the ball as well as Florida does, they can eat up yardage in big chunks.
Florida trying to pull off a major upset. To do it, they'll have to go the full 56 yards. Field goal does them no good. Gators from the 44. Collinsworth split right, Young to the left. Peace looking for Collinsworth, and incomplete. Chris unable to handle it. The cornerback coming up that time.
They're taking bigger chunks than I think they needed. This is Chris Collinsworth, just comes down, then he gets in behind the linebacker defenders, and then of course then you see number 40 coming up here to support very quickly, Gary Henry. And I thought they were trying to bite off a little bigger chunk than they needed. They've got plenty of time on the clock.
Second down 10 from the 44, 124 remaining. Right and Young left again. Peace looking for Young in traffic, can't handle it. He was surrounded, the pass a bit high, and Mike Smith was there to cover along with James Harris.
He almost got that ball. It hit him in the hands. It's been a tough catch. Bonasart was there along with Harris and Smith. Here it is right there, right off the hands. I mean, he really goes up for that ball. I'll tell you, that guy, he's got a lot of courage. He comes down there and doesn't worry about those secondary people.
He's taken his pops today. Every time he's been on the bench, he's had an ice pack. Third down 10. Gators from the 44-yard line. Again, Young split left, Collinsworth to the right. He's a straight drop and then throws to the 46-yard line to John L. Brown, but he's wrapped up immediately by Keith Jones.
Jones really hit him. He knows it, too.
He ruled it incomplete. They did.
Well, this is the moment of truth right here.
Barely matters, though, on the call, because had he caught it, he would have picked up a yard or so. And they need 10 now. Fourth down and 10. 1:10 to play. Collinsworth this time goes to the left side as they flop him, and Young to the right. 4th and 10. Flag is down. Incomplete, but a marker down. Tyrone Young, the intended receiver. Let's see the call. The officials huddling.
We have a legal procedure against the right. Keep going.
First down, Florida State, and victory for Florida State by holding Florida on the last series. So the Seminoles, with 1 minute and 3 left, can simply run out the clock.
Great second half performance by the Seminoles. Being very sluggish in the first half, and it may have been the result of the 4 weeks of inactivity. But boy, what a second half they have played here, both offensively and defensively.
So Florida State will win it. It hasn't come easy. A great performance by the Gators in the first half, and then a complete turnaround by the Seminoles here in the second half. Stockstill will only have to do that one more time, and it will be official. Florida State will wind up its regular season with a record of 10-1. Florida will wind up its regular season with a mark of 7-4. The Gators going on to the Tangerine Bowl, and State going on to the Orange Bowl. The Florida offense, first half and the second half, Jekyll and Hyde.
They also win the least amount of points scored against them. They had to keep it under 18. It didn't look good for them at the half, but they have managed it.
And that'll wrap it up. They can simply let the clock run out. So 53,000 will go home very happy. Bobby Bowden getting the ride off the field at Bill Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee as the Seminoles are able to pull it out after trailing at the half 13-3. Wind up 10-1, going to the Orange Bowl now with a 7-game winning streak as the clock runs out.
You certainly said it well when you said it didn't come easy. 13-3 in the first half, and then a beautiful piece of football on the part of the Seminoles in the second half that has won it for them here, 17-13.
So the final score from Tallahassee, the Seminoles winning it by 4 over the Gators. The third-ranked Florida State Seminoles wind up with a mark of...
My alternator light won't go out. What do you think it is, Mr. Goodwrench?
Well, let's take a look. Mr. Goodwrench has the right GM equipment available to work on your General Motors car. Thousands of dollars worth. But he also knows the value of a well-placed thumb.
What's the problem?
Just a stretched belt. I can replace it while you wait.
All right! Keep that great GM feeling.
Where Mr. Goodwrench works.
With genuine GM parts. Feeling 7-Up, I'm feeling 7-Up. Sharing styles, sharing smiles, feeling 7-Up. 7-Up. It's a crisp, refreshing feeling. Crystal clear and light, clear and memories turning 7-Up. And it sure feels right. Feeling like 7-7, feeling 7-7.
Mr. Brett, maybe you ought to choke up on the bat. It might help me.
7-Up, I'm feeling 7-Up. Dial-Ins has national sports news. It's new, it's rational just to call National Sports for all the latest reports. We're talking national sports news. We've got it all. 900, what a wonderful call. 900-976-1313. 900-976-1313. Dial-Ins, we're talking to you.
Goodyear Technology brings you an all-season steel-belted radial for the 80s. Today, you need a tire that gives you fuel economy and all-season performance, wet, dry traction, and long tread life, hydroplaning resistance, and dry road stability. Arriva. Even its footprint tells you it's different. Only from Goodyear. Goodyear. Quality and innovation.
The schools of theater, visual arts, and music at Florida State University are among the most innovative programs in the country. Research opportunities include a Center for American Theater, computerized studies in music, and an outstanding fine arts gallery. Talented students gain valuable performance experience on campus, in touring productions, and with professional companies. Theater, music, visual arts, and dance all thrive at Florida State University.
In Tallahassee, the final score, Florida State 17, Florida 13. A complete turnaround for the Seminoles in the second half after Florida had dominated through the first 30 minutes today. And a terrific performance turned in by Hardis Johnson, one of the key men for Florida State in the second half. Johnson had caught only 17 passes all season coming into the game.
This is his first of 2 touchdowns that he scores in this game. He comes up and runs a post. Stockstill puts it right there for him. He has sticky fingers here. He just breaks right along the goal line. He's right along the goal line right here. Brings himself under control and makes the first touchdown catch for the Florida State Seminoles. On defense, this is a play that I was very much impressed by. They were driving. I'm talking about the Gators. They had the ball. I think it was about second down. Now watch the play that Bonasart, the judgment that is used here, the defensive secondary man that will tip the ball back. Number 42 will tip the ball back right here to Keith Jones, number 28. He makes a great interception right there. The judgment and the reactions on the part of Monk Bonasart were just terrific. And there he is with the ball, and that stifled a drive that possibly could have been disastrous for the Florida State Seminoles.
FSU holding on to win it. The final score 17-13. And our most valuable players today for the Florida State Seminoles, we're going to pick Hardis Johnson, who had the best day of his career here in Tallahassee. And for Florida, their great wide receiver, the 6'6" Tyrone Young, responsible for Florida's first touchdown in the first half. In each fella's name, a $1,000 grant to the General Scholarship Fund from Chevrolet to the respective universities. I want to thank our spotter, Kelly Hayes, statistician George Hill, for their great work today as Florida State comes off a 4-week layoff. Looked a little sluggish in the first half, but turning it around in the last 30 minutes to win it, 17-13. Coverage of the Florida State game was produced by Terry O'Neill, directed by Jim Jeanette, technical director Les Weiss, associate director Peter Lasser. Now this is Al Michaels along with Ara Parseghian saying so long from Tallahassee, Florida. Stay tuned next for the Prudential College Football Scoreboard. Dave Dials will bring you up to date on all of today's games from around the country. And then ABC Sports brings you one of college football's classics, Notre Dame against USC. NCAA college football, Florida at Florida State, has been brought to you by Anheuser-Busch St. Louis, brewers of Michelob. Put a little weekend in your week. By Mr. Goodwrench and the General Motors Parts Division, who help you keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts. By Westinghouse and the 140,000 Westinghouse employees worldwide. And by the men and women of the Bell system, keeping your communication system the best in the world. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. That's what friendly skies are all about. Again, the final score from Tallahassee, Florida State 17 and Florida 13.
Sunday, terror comes to paradise when the Angels meet trouble in Hawaii.
Bob, look!
On a deadly treasure hunt that puts the Angels in an underwater race with the mob.
Let's go.
In the struggle for a kingly ransom that could mean the difference between life and death. Tomorrow.